What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another fan show. Tottenham go crashing out the Europa League in an absolutely disastrous defeat today. I mean, look, what can we say? It's absolutely dismal what happened on that pitch today. Lack of fight, lack of energy, lack of everything, to be honest. I don't know one good performance on that pitch today. Massive lack of quality. Dinamo Zagreb made us look like the one of the lowest seeds in the tournament left when they were, and we were favourites for the competition coming into this game, and you lose 3-0 to Dinamo Zagreb after taking a 2-0 lead into the leg. It's just unforgivable. It really is. And I've backed Jose Mourinho to the hills and back this season, but unfortunately I'm finding it hard to come up with excuses for him anymore. I really am. And this one I think is a nail in his coffin. I really do.
Has to be. It has to be when you have that kind of result. You can't run away from it. You can't say he can't take on responsibility for it. It's just, of course, I completely blame the players as well, but I think Mourinho, he's clearly finding it hard to motivate this group. I think Pochettino, near the end of his time, found it hard to motivate the group. Mourinho is also having it, but I think you can't last week he showed that he can coach a team to beat Zagreb. So the fact that he couldn't do the same this week is on him. And I think I think after this result, our season is pretty much in tatters. We've got a slight outside chance of top four, but after that result, I can't see ourselves picking ourselves up and going on a run of wins in the league. So pretty much our whole season is now down to one League Cup final against Man City, which at this rate I can't see us winning either. So our season is in absolute tatters, and I think Mourinho might have to be the fall guy at this point.
Well, we've got a long show ahead. We've got a lot of people waiting, a lot of guests to come on. Let's get Grandpa on.
Hiya, can you hear me?
Yeah, one sec. Let me just plug in. I can hear you.
Good. My hair's getting longer and longer.
Grandpa.
So, you want some positives? Some positives?
Are there any positives, Grandpa?
I'll give you a couple of positives. One positive, which I think is quite important, was if you heard Mourinho's comments after the match. For the first time, I've heard him be genuinely, as he said, more than sad, and was blaming himself as much as the players. And I feel that might stand him in good stead going forward. I wouldn't be pushing him out right now. That's one. The other one, I think, it's a small one, but compared to the last match against Arsenal, where Kane was invisible, in fact, most of the game this time, certainly in the first half, he was visible. He was getting the ball, but somehow he was slipping on the pitch and just not accurate. He's still not, in my view, fully fit. And I thought if I was to choose anybody as the man of the match, it's a bit difficult to choose anybody. I think I'd give them all 3 out of 10, but I probably would give Bale a little bit more. Because I think when Bale came on, he created 2 or 3 chances in quite a short time, and therefore I would give it to him. But yeah, it's you can't what Mourinho was saying has to be right. That the attitude was all wrong. The attitude was we're winning. We beat them 2-0. We don't need to score another goal. We can just play around, and that's what they did. Until the last, just like against Arsenal, the last 10 minutes when we lost a man, we played well against Arsenal. And we played quite well at the last 10 or 15 minutes of extra time. Because the attitude changed. The attitude changed, we're going to lose this and we've got to fight.
Yeah.
They should be fighting right from the beginning. And that's what they're not doing. If you want to blame Mourinho, maybe you're right. But in the end, it's the players that have got to play. And Mourinho's got to inspire them. And what you're suggesting, and maybe you're right, and I don't know the answer, maybe you're right that he's not inspiring them. But the fact that he was quite contrite, I personally would give him another go if he wants to. But okay, look, the other positive is we haven't got a lot of games to play now. we can put all our energy into that final and all our energy into trying to get to the top 4. So that's a positive in some way, because one of the downsides that we've had is the number of games we've played. I do think that's taken the edge off a lot of the play. So let's see some energy go into these last few games to cheer us up and to make this channel the most popular channel again.
If Jose, if we, let's say by the end of the season we don't get top 4, don't win the Carabao Cup, do you still feel Jose should stay on for next season?
I would probably. It will really depend on what the attitude was to the whole game. If they showed good play and a good attitude, and he was able to demonstrate that he can still manage a team, I would keep him. But otherwise, I think he will have to go, because they've got to make the changes. And I don't know about Mourinho. I think you've got to also think about Levy and what is he going to do about the players.
Yeah.
Is he going to spend some money? Is he going to shore up the players that haven't been performing? Because you don't know who they are. Because one week they're performing really well, and the next week they're performing really badly.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave Sanchez, as you know, what man of the match against Arsenal, and I would give him the worst marks this time. He was appalling, as in fact most of the defence was. And the midfield was bad. I mean, we really missed sort of a Marshall in the midfield. We missed a Holbier there. That made a difference. But that in the end, they had the right attitude. They fought right from the start, and you have to give them credit. That's all you can say, really, at the moment.
Yeah, and what are you hoping for from now? Do you think we can have a little run in the league and maybe getting out that outside chance for top 4? What do you think? Where does this leave us this season for you?
I'd say the chance is not as outside as a lot of people think, because I think we've now got time. We've got time to. We've got the season break. We've then got only one match a week. And I think that we can put more effort into the training of the team and getting them to perform right in the last. What have we got? 5 matches?
Yeah.
For when?
For the rest of the season.
No, we got like 10 Premier League games
in the league.
10 in the league.
Yeah, 1 League Cup. Yeah. Yeah,
so there's and the 1 League Cup. So 10 games. I thought it was less. Fine, that's fine. And I think if we can show the right attitude in those 10 games. Win 8 of them, for instance, I think I would give him another go. But if we really carried on the same way as we've carried on today and against Arsenal, then yes, he's got to go.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Grandpa.
Okay.
Nice one, Grandpa. No, not a pleasure.
A pleasure to speak to you, Grandpa.
That's the thing. These results are not a pleasure, that's for sure. Jack Kinecki says, thank you for the service you provide us all. It's very difficult and tough feeling for the fans right now. No matter the result, amazing what you guys provide for the average fan. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate all your super chat and the support. This is going to be a tough stream. HK says Mourinho's lost the players and they've got no confidence. Equal faults on both halves of this. I think he's out with or without a trophy.
The thing is with the whole Jose Mourinho thing, even if you sack Jose Mourinho, which I've been saying which could happen, still stuck with these players, still stuck with the players that let down Poch, stuck with the players that let down Jose Mourinho. So then where do we go from there? I
agree. I think they're throwing at the moment. They're letting Mourinho down. I think the players are letting Mourinho down more than Mourinho's letting them down. I think that's for sure. But the manager's always going to be the fall guy, isn't he? He's going to be the fall guy, and it's no matter whether I want him to go or not. I just feel like that kind of result is a massive nail in the coffin. And Pantman V8 says went from could finish top 4 and win 2 cups. We ain't getting nowhere near top 4, and we're going to get smashed by City in the final. Get rid of everyone. Should we just play the youth next year? Should we play under 23s next year?
Yeah. Well, Skippy and Sessegnon come back anyway. Let's get Jack on. Jack. Give me something to smile about, Jack, please.
How? wow, what can you smile about after that?
It's difficult because I even joked about kind of the match in general and the pre-match. So it's almost like I ate my words, and maybe a lot of us ate our words.
How are you feeling for the remainder of the season? What can we do? And is Jose Mourinho going to be the fall guy for this squad?
It's difficult because after these last two games, I now feel kind of like just embarrassed, disappointed, and just hopeless. But it's so funny that 2 games before, obviously, our game on Sunday, I felt like we were kind of had everything going for us. We had kind of everything ahead of us. Arsenal had the exact opposite, and now we've practically traded places, it feels like.
Literally.
And
Literally.
that's what's so, I don't know, it's kind of shell-shocking.
What do you put it down to tonight? How we given up a 2-goal advantage to the Croatian team who just had their manager gone to prison 2 days ago? What do you put that down to?
I don't even know what I put it down to, because I would only say in terms of what Dinamo Zagreb did, it felt like only 2 players really played that spectacularly. Obviously, Orsic took his chances, Mislav Orsic, and he's proven to have taken his chances in years past. But then again, he was very quiet in the first leg, so it's not, we are capable of keeping him quiet, but this game we couldn't. And then also their other center back, not Lauritsen, but the other one, he had a really fantastic game, I thought. Katarine, thank you. He had a lot of fantastic blocks and moments of kind of taking a chance away from us, I feel like. And then Livakovic, their keeper, had a decent save here and there, but I don't even know if they really, my point is, I don't even know if they really played that spectacularly, and that's what makes it kind of harder to explain.
I mean, it's just so hard to take, isn't it, Jack? I mean, I just don't know where we go from here. I really don't. And if we do lose to Aston Villa this weekend, you've got to say, Carabao Cup final aside, season's done.
Yeah, the season's done. And also the other problem, too, is that this is not only embarrassing, I feel like, for Spurs' reputation at the moment, it's also embarrassing for Jose's reputation, because he's supposed to be a tournament manager. He's supposed to be kind of this, kind of ruthless knockout mastermind, and he clearly didn't show it today. And like you guys had even kind of hinted at on the watch along, there's something about him that's not motivating the players. And at this point, it's, as much as we want to blame the players because he's proven and they're not, you still gotta, at the end of the day, you can't just excommunicate or just exile all the players. You have to sometimes just look at the manager and ask him why can't he motivate the players, even though it is frustrating because we have a lot of players on our team that are nowhere near as proven or as veteran as he is. And it's sometimes it kind of got flipped back and forth between blaming them and blaming him. I think it's such a mixology of both.
Yeah.
Will Jose Mourinho be here next season?
No. No. And that's what's harder for me is, at the end of the day, I think Jose he's kind of fading out of football, possibly. I still love him. I think he's one of the best personalities football has ever seen, and one of the best people football has ever seen outside of football. He's one of the best people in the world. And so it's just difficult to kind of see, in a sense, I think a former idol of mine kind of crumbling, but you still got to open your eyes to what's happening. And he is kind of fading out of the game, in a sense, because I don't know why he can't motivate these players. It seems like he has in the past, and it's kind of just, it hasn't stayed consistent, and it's impossible to defend him sometimes.
Definitely after a game like that. But Jack, always good to speak to you, mate.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll speak to you in better times. But
yep, and thanks for the service you guys provide. So at the end of the day, it's always nice that you guys can lift up your chins and still give us this service, which is very commendable.
I mean, it definitely gets hard after games like this and after
I
games on the weekend.
That's why I sent that. I could not do it.
No, but thanks for your kind words, and we'll speak to you next time, Jack.
Yep.
See you soon. We've got a couple super chats. One from Deck88 says, absolutely gutted. I'm a big fan of the vids and hope it can only go up from here. Yeah, so same here, but it's definitely difficult. One from Grant Simmond, no message, but just super chat. Thank you,
Big up
Grant.
yourself, Grant.
Big up, Grant. Colin Lumsden said, like I said on Sunday, we've got to build a team, bring in some youth. These players don't care about Spurs.
It's hard to disagree.
It's hard to disagree at this time. I mean, I do wonder what Kane and Son and what they're going to be thinking after today's result.
If I'm Harry Kane,
he's
I'm
not going to
looking
have a trophy after this season.
If I'm Harry Kane, I'm looking around me. I'm saying I'm one of the best players in world football right now. What am I doing here? What am I doing? What direction is this club going in?
He's always said he would only consider leaving if he sees no progression. And I guarantee you he doesn't see any progression.
Exactly,
right
he's
now.
seeing regression. Never mind bloody stagnation or progression. We're regressing hard. Going out to the Europa League to bloody Dinamo Zagreb after a 2-0 lead.
It's horrendous.
All right, let's get Sam on. Sam.
Hello.
We go crashing out the Europa League tonight, Sam. Tell me your thoughts.
It's a bit of a shit show, really. Jose said it in his post-match interview. We were not missing the basic. We were missing the basics of football. We were missing the basics of life. I expect these players that play for our club, that we pour so much of our time into, that are paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, to pour their heart into a game like this, to pour their heart into a game that could see us progress in the Europa League, that could see us win it finally. It's ridiculous. It's just I don't understand how they can treat the club this way, because I just don't understand it. There's no excuses. The players' attitude on that pitch was wank. I saw no desire to win that game, and we do not have the defence available to just sit back and invite pressure and go for a clean sheet. We don't have. We can't do that with the defence we have. Davinson Sanchez is a pile of wank. He played. He's had a few good games, but this game I saw absolutely no aggression from him. I saw no passion. It's so shit from our team. It's so bad. I just find it hard to make excuses for them at this point.
Mm.
Where does it leave our season? That result. What does it leave us for you?
The season's fucked. The season's it's just we're gonna lose to City. They're gonna win the Carabao Cup. It's basically confirmed at this point. If we lose into Dinamo Zagreb like that, with a 2-0 advantage, that how are we going to win against City in Wembley? It's just not going to happen. We're not going to get top four. Jose, he's not going to go either. Jose will not leave because he's got a contract that we're going to have to pay millions for him to let him go. The only other person that can come in to replace him is Eddie Howe. People are ridiculous for thinking Nagelsmann's ever going to come in and leave a Champions League club like Leipzig. It's ridiculous. He's not going to come here. The only other replacement I can think of at the minute is Eddie Howe.
So where do we go from here, Sam? Where do we go?
I don't know. I think it's time to really look at our club and really analyse the players that are playing like they deserve to wear our shirt. If I was Harry Kane, I would be out of this club. I would be out. He's one of the best strikers in the world at the minute, and he's at a club who just lost to Dinamo Zagreb in the Europa League. He's a Champions League player. And he's barely getting through the round of 16 in or the quarterfinals in Europa League. It's ridiculous. Son as well. I'll be surprised if they stay, because the current progression of our club is just shit show.
I mean, it's really hard to take, Sam. It really is. Look, I just don't know what to say anymore because the manager can't get a tune out of these players. These players have now thrown Pochettino and potentially Jose Mourinho now under the bus. I mean, I just don't know the way to go because you bring in another manager, these players are going to be the same, and you can't exactly sack a whole squad as well. So I mean, how can we move forward? I'm struggling to find answers here. I really am.
We need investment, and we need to bring up youth players. We need to play Tanganga more. Firstly, I think he's a massive talent that's missing out. That's one of my biggest things. I mean, he's in my opinion, he's better than Davinson Sanchez. We need to get rid of our defense. Really, like theoretically, our defense is not a Champions League defense. It's not a big six defense at the minute. Like if we're looking at it theoretically, Reguilon, amazing. I like him. He had a shit game today, but he's been very, very good for us. But other than that, the whole defense has to go, and it's like realistically. And today I saw a massive hole in our defense when Højbjerg wasn't playing. I don't know what it was. I think it was a lack of leadership from anyone on the pitch. I didn't see any leadership really, apart from Hugo, a small amount. Our defense was, and our midfield was not. It was shit. It was
non-existent. Sam, absolute pleasure. Well, yeah. I was going to say absolute pleasure. It's a pleasure speaking to you, just not under these circumstances. But thanks for coming on, my friend.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one, Sam. I got a lot of super chats people are sending in. Go from Lee K says, I've played football all my life. I've never needed a manager to motivate me to win. So why do we keep going on about managers motivating players? I get that. I think he's got a point, but I think also it's also the manager's responsibility to make sure that the players are focused on the game. And I think the players obviously take ultimate responsibility for that, but the manager also has a role to play. I obviously blame the players more than Mourinho for that. Yeah. But I think Mourinho also needs to take blame, and I think he does. Eugene Park says, could we have won today if Son played? I don't even know if he would have made a difference today after what I saw.
I think the only player that could have made a difference today is Højbjerg.
Yeah, probably.
And the thing is, Højbjerg got that booking, and we were like, oh yeah, blessing, because I was saying anyway, blessing because he's missing this, and he'll be refreshed for the quarterfinals and what have you. And then you were talking about that Sergio Ramos thing against Ajax and it's exactly the same thing, exactly the same.
If he did indeed get booked on purpose, that is. Bring Back Logic says Poch had the same problem. A club filled of players incapable of being motivated. No love for the badge. Bunch of frauds out there. And you know what? There's a lot to be said about that, honestly. A lot of players out there who honestly have been in the club way too long, need to be shifted out, and they need new challenge for themselves, and we need to freshen up the squad completely, and a big problem. Anup Narayanan says, fact, we won 2, drew 2 and lost 7 against the teams above us in the Premier League so far, with 3 more to go. Jose was fantastic, but not anymore. He hasn't improved anything since he came on. He hasn't improved anything, but it's just so hard to analyse what's really wrong. Mac THFC says Jose is not the problem, the board are. The team needed a rebuild circa 17-18. Board didn't spend and the inevitable has happened. Absolute joke. And then there's even more. Tommy Lee says, do you think, where has he gone?
Do you think the result will be different if Son didn't get an injury? You've read that one, though.
No, that's the second one we've had about Son. I hadn't read that one out yet.
Well, I've read it out.
No, you've read that. Then there's 3 more as well. We got
there's more than 3 more.
Nate D says, I'll take any new manager. We need that new manager, new energy to find a way to beat City in the Cup. Jose is a dinosaur. He can't motivate anyone. Jose out. Joseph Malinsky says, we've had some rubbish players over the years that have been likeable because of their work rate and care for the club. Most of the rubbish tonight looked like they couldn't care less about Spurs. No heart, no desire. And last one from DKK. We were really missing Højbjerg today. He was the leader on the pitch we needed. If he had been there, wouldn't have been a second goal.
Yeah, you just missed these two ones here. Kieran Abbott, who said Chiellini's words might be true after all.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
And Canadian Hotspur says absolute lack of leadership and heart in the club.
And Steve Johnson says, Liverpool fan from Canada, all I can say is wow and how. Just home from work. Stay safe all. Oh, honestly.
All right, well,
I don't feel safe after that.
No,
result.
me neither. Let's get Tottenham teacher on. Let's see what he can teach us today, because we need to learn something. That was an absolute shit show today. How'd you sum that up?
Hey lads, how's it going? I got to catch a majority of that game, but oof.
Oh man, absolutely diabolical.
I'm expecting all the kids to get it this week after that.
F's all round. F's all round.
I mean, honestly, guys, we just got back with distance learning, so there's a lot of that going on, anyways. But in reality, let's talk Spurs, anyways, because man, I think the first time I got on here, super nervous, but I mentioned about how we were going to need a rebuild, and we were needing a rebuild anyways. And obviously, at this point, we're asking the questions. Like, I would expect most of us to think Mourinho is on his way out, maybe.
Yeah,
probably for sure, right?
It's looking like it's going that way, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would say so. But coming from, there's this weird split, right? I think as fans, some of us are hoping that Harry's gonna knock on Levy's door and say, "Where's that investment?" But in reality, he's a player that should be playing in Champions League. Is losing to Dinamo Zagreb with the manager in prison. I mean, I joked with my students. I was like, "Yeah, we'll probably be fine." Can't really have a bounce back manager in prison, right?
No, got that wrong.
No, but that's egg on her face, guys. Egg on her face.
Completely.
When you look at Harry Kane, 27 years of age now, he's not getting any younger. If he wants to start winning the proper trophies, he has to do it like now. You know what I mean? If he hasn't won them by the next 3-4 years, then he might never win them. So he needs to think of his career right now. I mean, and if he's looking around him at the manager, at the players, what's he thinking? No,
I mean, I do agree with you there. It's just, I feel like I'm looking around at this team and I'm saying, man, just a bag of players who shouldn't be on the pitch. But man, you've been mentioning, I mean, we can't send everybody out, right? We can't send everybody out. That's not the way that football works. You do have to question the manager and say, hey, how are you not able to motivate these players? But I think we have a bigger problem in general. The rebuild is coming. It is coming. That is what it is. You want my opinion? I kind of agree. I was tuning in to David's stream with Irish Hotspur yesterday, and Stelios was talking a bit from Tottenham away about just our scouting. Hey, if we get the money, cool. How are we going to spend that damn money?
Yeah.
How are we going to spend that damn money? Because yes, I feel like as Spurs fans, we're used to, okay, once in a while we'll spend money on a player. But what type of player? What type of player? You have to be developing these young bucks, right? So I do agree with, playing the youth. It does feel like we're going to be heading that for the next at least 2 years. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm trying to see how we're going to be able to keep Kane or a Son. I feel like the answer is in front of Levy. He's going to see, hey, do I spend another 200 million pounds or do I sell Kane at 100 and call it a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to know. In terms of you say you look at the players and there's a bunch of players who just shouldn't be on the pitch. But, we played them last week. We won 2-0 at home. It was fairly comfortable. Zagreb barely laid a finger on us. So is it more about application or is it about quality of these players?
Maybe I don't know. Haven't we given these players the benefit of a doubt enough? I feel like actual application of what Mourinho is asking of. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm late to the Ali Gold probably blog, but I'm sure he's already, publish something along those lines. I doubt Mourinho's out there asking, "Hey, roll over. Hey, don't play for the badge. Hey, it's just it's super. The whole game was lackluster. Obviously, that whole first half. I don't think that we should be this surprised, but here I find myself, in my classroom, and as I'm still as surprised.
Yeah, I mean,
Did not expect.
I thought we would have enough in us to see out a 2-0 advantage to a Croatian team with their manager in prison, but apparently not. Mourinho has been talking in his post-match press conference. He was asked if it does it concern him that the players aren't listening to and responding to what he wants, and he said, "Of course it concerns me. We worked very hard and we tried to provide the best conditions for the players to perform. Of course it concerns me. My position as head coach is the position that makes me uncomfortable to come in front of the cameras and go deep in analysis. I hope you can understand that. I believe all of us have to be humble enough to accept any criticism that you can make of our work, and it's not for me to go on that." What do you think Mourinho's thinking right now?
I think he is being 100% truthful right there. I mean, he did take the year off, right? Yeah, we were all kind of disillusioned with the documentary, right? Thinking, oh, it's all going to change. But you could see very clearly, one second, that ain't going to be the case, folks. That ain't going to be the case necessarily. Football is very complicated. It is very complicated. And I think he does realize that he has a part to play here. I think he feels like he has been playing that part. The players have to pick up one portion. The board had to do another. Football is very complicated.
All right.
Very complicated.
Thanks for coming on, man. And hopefully we'll get to speak to you in better times.
Ben, Sim, it's been a pleasure. Not really, but you know how it is. Tottenham till I die. Coys,
Tottenham, exactly.
hey.
That's the main thing. Tottenham till we die. And that is the main thing. Let's keep going.
Got some super chats here.
Let's get the super chats first.
First of all,
Zach's on anyway. Let's speak to Zach and then we'll go. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, we've got a super chat. Okay, Joe Alexander says, embarrassing. Players don't deserve to wear the shirt. Fake Shaq says, I'm an Arsenal fan, and although I'm happy with the win, my father is a Spurs fan, and he's devastated. I Hate Marmite says, it's time to sell Kane. As much as I don't want to, he deserves better, and we need a rebuild anyway. That ENIC won't provide without the money. And GR says, players who've won nothing should be kissing the feet of Mourinho. He's won more than the whole club combined, just like Bezos walking into Londis and trying to make Amazon. And Nabil Jamal says, Norwich, Leipzig, Everton, Zagreb, last 16, all Jose, ? Oh, is that, yeah, that's who we've gone out to in the Cups.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's get Zach on. Zach, break it down for me, man. Break it down for me.
I just think we need some stimulation, man. Like there's just nothing stimulating about watching us at the minute. Like you watch us play, it's boring. You watch. If it's hard to watch, it's hard to play. Like we need a new manager. We need 2 new centre backs. We need a new captain, a new goalkeeper, and we need a cam. Like so badly, we need a creative player on there. Like there's no. I don't know. It's like we're not doing nothing. I don't understand like what we're meant to be doing when we're watching it. We turn on in the last 20 minutes of every game. It doesn't matter how long the game is. We'll start 20 minutes before the end. I don't know how they managed to time it so well. It's just so unstimulating. It's so bad until the last minute. I don't understand.
Is this the end of the road for Jose Mourinho for you?
Yeah, I think it's just we need something. We need something. We were struggling under Poch because these players were getting bored of playing the exciting Poch way, and then we brought someone in more boring, and now there's just nothing. There's no stimulation at all. Like imagine trying to play that football. I don't understand what we're meant to be doing. I don't get it. I really do not get it. I don't understand like the team selection. Like I've read the papers all week and they've been slagging Sanchez off. So why is he playing? I don't understand it at all. It's so confusing and frustrating to watch. Like I don't get what's going on.
Is it more of a in terms of the players, is it more of application in terms of today? Mourinho questioning a lot of their mentality, saying they didn't, not just the basics of football, but the basics of life they didn't bring into this game. What was your reaction to that?
me personally, I just think there's two different types of people at this, two different types of players. There's the men who you can see play like the Højbjergs, the Kanes, the Sons, the people who stand up and get counted for, and then there's the boys, the like, do you know what I mean? The Sanchez's, the Auriers, do you know what I mean? Like the people who just disappear every single game. Like when it's time to do something, they just disappear every single time. I just feel like the disconnect is just not there. We need some glue. We need like. It's like Højbjerg, like we needed someone to tell people, yo, this is what you're meant to do. Like, we're just missing that. We're missing, I don't know, we're just missing something. Like it's so frustrating. Like
Zach, is there a quick fix to us getting back to where we want to be, or do we need to take a project manager on, invest in like a 5-year project, and get back to where we want to be, kind of in the next 3-4 years?
No, yeah, I really don't want to have to say it, but it's looking that way, isn't it? Like that, it's looking that way. I don't want to say. I don't want to admit it to myself. I don't want to admit it to my friends. I don't want to admit it to the other football fans that I know who are laughing at me right now. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to admit it, but it's getting to that point where we need a new manager badly, and we need a new captain, and we just need new everything. And it's getting to that point where we're going to have to go backwards. Like we can't. Like this way is not working anymore. I thought when Mourinho came in, it would be like a quick fix. We all knew we were selling our soul to the devil for some sort of trophy. And then, do you know what I mean? There's not even going to be a trophy. Like, who wants a league for? It's a failure. This whole Mourinho thing's a failure.
It's hard to disagree.
If we get top 4 by the end of the season, does he deserve more time?
No, it's not good enough. We had top 4 3 seasons in a row, and we was playing beautiful football. Do you know what I mean? We swapped that for something.
But that was already gone. That was already gone by the time Poch was at the end of the day.
I get it was already gone, but do you know what I mean? We was meant to replace it with something better. And we're not. We've gone worse. Every single player we've brought in has got worse. I think anyway. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would say Kane and Son have probably got better this season as opposed to previous seasons. But I get your point. There have been a lot of players that have got worse.
Yeah, like Vinicius. Like, it's not as bad. He came in better than he is. It's like Bergwijn. He came in, hit the ground running, and he's gone backwards. It's like Reguilon, like the best Spanish left back. You know what I mean? He's not playing to where he was last season. Like, we're just going backwards all the time.
I mean, is there any chance to get this season back on track?
Well, I hope we win this. I hope we win this League Cup. But even that's not enough. Like, even that's not enough. Even if we turn it up against it, it's just not going to be enough. I don't think. I don't know. We all want Champions League football, and that's the difference maker. That's the one that seals the Kanes and the Sons and ensures us getting better players coming in. Like, we need that Champions League football. And this was our only play. And now and then we've messed it up. We've not just messed it up. Like we was 2 goals ahead. It's so frustrating. I'm so sorry, like, to be.
Look, Zach, I completely feel your pain, and I'm with you 100% of the way. But it's just hard to take right now. But thanks for coming on, and Tottenham till we die.
Problem, man. Come on, you Spurs, man. Hopefully,
Tottenham till I die.
I see you, Zach.
All right. Anything else? Any more chats?
No. One just came through actually. Mac THFC says we clearly need to rebuild, but Levy won't spend. We got a shiny new stadium at the expense of on-field success, and now we're back to mid-table mediocrity.
Let's not get it twisted. The real issue here was Enoch and the way they handled things from mid-Poch till now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the main crux of the issue, and that's going to carry on being the issue, isn't it? Because we're not getting Champions League football, it looks like right now. We're not going to have the money to spend on these new players, these new shiny players that we want. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at the moment, where are we going? Where are we going?
Nowhere.
Let's get Will Stewart on, and maybe he can tell us where we're going. Will?
Well, I don't know where we're going today, fellas. I really
Brexit,
don't know.
That's what we're going. It's our own version of Brexit.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't understand. Like, a lot of people have, the Twitter sphere has gone.
No, you're still here. Oh, what's happened?
Oh, yeah, someone. Yeah, you have switched out. What's going on?
What the hell is going on?
1 sec, mate. Oh, Yeah, we still have your audio. I can still hear you. We'll bring it back on. There you
There
go.
you go. Will
There
Stewart
it is,
is
there
back.
it is.
Go on. Sorry, carry on.
I spent a lot of time with the fanciness here. We gotta-
Looking good, by the
no,
way. It's looking good.
Well, thank you. No, I think the Twitter's first gone crazy with this Jose in, Jose out. I've never been really a huge fan of Jose, and I'm not a Jose.
What?
What the hell's going on?
What is going? Why does it keep switching? That's so weird. We'll get you back on a sec. There you go. We're back.
We'll go with the audio,
What
but
the hell is going on? Anyway,
I don't know. It's like scrolling sideways, left and right. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's you know, I don't know what kind of tactics any manager could have created to make some of our best players on our team.
What is going on?
Sorry, Will. We've lost you again. I don't know what keeps happening. There
It's
you
like
go.
your stream pad's rolling. Is what it seems like. The camera's switching
Yeah,
panels
something's going
from
on.
pane to pane. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's just a horrible mess. What could you do? What else could you do to get Harry Kane to not head a free header in the last 2 minutes? You know, it's all good.
Mourinho in his post-match press conference was asked if it concerns him that the players, aren't doing what he's aren't listening and responding to what he wants. He said, "Of course, it concerns me. We work hard. We try to provide the best conditions for the players to perform." He also said basically. All right, I think we're going to have to restart the software for some reason. Something's wrong. 1 second, guys. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Guys, apologies about that.
No worries.
Will, is Will back on? Back on with
I'm
Will?
here. Yeah.
All right, cool. Will, I was just watching a bit of Mourinho in his press conference, and he was saying how he was telling the players to not accept a result. For example, if we're 1-0 down, don't accept that as a good result. Oh, it's happened again, guys.
Danny.
Yeah, apparently
He likes Danny. He likes Danny.
He apparently does. Yeah, so he was saying, I told the players to refuse a feeling if we draw or if we lose 1-0 or 2-0, it's okay. At half-time with the result 0-0, I told the players don't trust it, he said. But clearly, they were very... All right, 1 sec. No, it's not you, mate. It's not you. It's something on our end. Trust me. I don't know what's going on at the moment. But man, it's as bad as our performance at the moment.
It's all good, fella. Just keep talking. We can hear you.
They can hear. People can hear still.
Yeah.
All right. But what do you make out of that? Do you think whose fault is it that they can't get motivated in for these games? In this kind of game.
I'm gonna tell you what I think it is that a lot of those players, especially our fringe players, right? Our fringe players who are out there, and 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, they were on low wages. They didn't have big names for themselves. Now they've got those new contracts, and they just kind of got fat and happy, I think, because what else could you be? What else could get you out there to then going through to the next round of a knockout competition, right? I don't care what tactics the manager throws out there. If you're a player who wants to play for this right here, if you want to play for this right here, and there's 60, 70, 80 minutes left in the game and you're down 2-0, 3-0, you're going to fight. You're going to fight. You're going to say, screw what the guy on the sideline has to say. I'm going to fight for this badge right here, and I'm going to take this team on my shoulders and carry it across the line, right? Tactics starts at halftime or, at the beginning of the game. It doesn't happen in the last 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of a knockout round competition in extra time. But, that's where I got to go for that. I don't think you can blame Jose for this. Everybody, if anybody's going to take the blame, everybody's got to take the blame. So,
do you think he'll be here next season? More the way things are going, or do you think do we need a massive improvement? Obviously, we do need a massive improvement.
We need a massive
improvement. But do you think we can? Do you think we can achieve that?
Yeah, I just hope that it's we got to focus on getting those players out. Like, everybody gives me a whole lot of give about wanting LaMelo out. It's not because I don't think it doesn't matter what manager we have. We have. I want to win leagues. I want to win titles. I want to win back-to-back titles. And we only have about 2 or 3 players on our squad right now that can actually perform at that level. And we have to. And we're going to lose it. But that's got to be a serious conversation now. It's not whether Jose is in or out next season, it's whether Harry Kane and Son Heung-min are going to be here next year. That's the real conversation that needs to be happening.
What do we need to do to convince him? Is it top 4 or bust, do you think, in terms of convincing him to stay?
It's got to be. I mean, that's the only thing I would think. I mean, especially Son, watching as many Korean channels as I do, British and American channels, everyone there is screaming for him to leave, screaming,
I'm not
crying out.
The way we're going,
But yeah, I'll jump off here. But before I go, I want to just make an announcement here for you guys. I'm starting a kind of like a rant channel, a free-for-all channel during American prime time, right? So if you're an American or Canadian, there's not a lot of content that happens between, this time right now and, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's just going to be out there. It's called Will Stewart THFC Rants. And if you want to come on and rant and moan, check us out.
All right. We'll go check out Will Stewart THFC. Was it cool? Sorry, Will Stewart THFC.
Yeah, THFC Rants.
THFC Rants. All right, so go check that out. I'm sure people will be interested to see some of that content. So good stuff there, Will, and good to speak to you again as always.
Yeah, right, thank you guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks,
Come on,
Will.
you Spurs.
Tottenham till we die. Come on.
Are we not having video now?
Say it again.
Are we not having video?
I think there's a problem with the software today, guys. So I think we're just going to have audio from the guests today. Let's get Mike on. Hi, Mike. How's it going, mate?
How we doing?
Sorry about the bit of technical issues today, but we can hear you. We just can't see you. But
that's better, honestly. You don't need to see me.
How'd you break that down today?
Yeah, this is the lowest I've been since I started supporting the club in around like 2008. And there are so many things we could point out. Obviously, I think you have to be Mourinho out at this point. We've been selling ourselves on his previous achievements all season. And now those previous achievements, he's got 1 Carabao Cup game away from achieving 0 and bringing us backwards, as we've said many times today. That being said, I made a list of players that are just simply not good enough, and the list goes on and on. I mean, Dyer, Winks, Davis, Sanchez, Aurier, Doherty, Sissoko, Dele Alli. Are any of them good enough to play on a title-winning side at this point? Not one of them. I mean, Sissoko today was diabolical. If you go look at his passing when we need a goal, it's horrific. Sanchez the same. Too much dead weight at the club. And everyone can go on and on and on and about investment and all that. It's just as much about getting rid of the dead weight and the players that aren't good enough. And we haven't done that. We haven't refreshed. We haven't gotten rid of the staleness. We just thought we're 1 game away from a Champions League. Let's just give it a go with a different manager and see what happens. Yeah, we made some minor additions, but let's be honest, they're all minor. And like I said, Harry Kane, like I hear you guys saying we're worried about him leaving, and absolutely he's one of the best players to ever put on the shirt. But I'm not having that thought today. I'm actually angry at Harry Kane. I mean, that shot, that sitter he had that the keeper saved, normal Harry Kane puts that in the corner. He puts that right down the middle, and the keeper saves it. Okay? So I'm not giving him any out today. And I got to be honest, if his thought is today, oh, this team isn't good enough, I haven't produced enough, he should take a look in the mirror too. If Lionel Messi loses to Dinamo Zagreb, they don't start going around and saying, oh, his team is shit. They look at Messi and say, why weren't you good enough to score a goal against Zagreb? And that's all I got to say. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't put it past him to leaving. He's a quality player, and we may not be in the European front next year. But in terms of like worrying about him leaving at this moment, I'm more worried about why he was been so poor in 2 big games the last 2 days or last 2 games.
In terms of Jose Mourinho, if we can somehow get top 4 this season, does that save his job?
Yeah, I think it does. But at the end of the day, I think it saves his job because they don't want to sack another manager. I think if we're being honest about ourselves, even the good performances this year have been organized performances. We've been talking ourselves into saying, oh, we're going to play set up defensively. We're going to hit them on the break. Let's be honest. That's not how this team was ever going to succeed. And it was just we were getting some results early on and buying into it, of course. The players didn't seem to be buying into it. I mean, we're winning 1-0, 2-0, getting 1 or 2 chances a game early in the season, and we were getting by on that. It really wasn't good enough. And now it's all showing in the results. I don't know, guys. I'm really low right now.
Yeah, I mean, you and us both.
A quote here from Jose says, to be a professional, you must have attitude every day and in every minute of every game. Then more talent, less talent makes a difference between the players. But what is never negotiable is attitude, and they beat us on attitude. What would you say to that?
So, yeah, I agree. If we're playing all out and think that we need to put the tie to bed today instead of thinking it was to bed already as soon as we stepped on the pitch, which is what it looked like. It looked like we thought we had it won as soon as we got there. And, yeah, the effort was clearly not there, and I think we see it over the line today. If the effort was better, but that doesn't change that the quality was so shit today, guys. The passing was so lazy. How many passes we're just one ball away and they're just lazy. I mean, just simple passes that we're putting 2 meters wide that send us wide, that make us reset. Sissoko and Winks in the midfield should never play again. Never play again in a top. Though that duo is diabolical for us. I would love to see.
How the hell did we get to a Champions League final with those 2 in the middle?
Guys, every day of our lives, that Champions League final seems like ancient history. That is just such a mirage in the way this club is right now.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, it just looks like that was just straight luck. Let's be honest. That run looked like straight luck at this point.
It papered over all the cracks at the time, didn't it?
Exactly. And you know what? If we would have won the trophy, then you know what? Do whatever you want. Stick with Dyer at center back for the next 3 years. But guess what? We didn't. We lost. And we said, oh, we got to a final. We must be a great squad. Far from the case. Far from the case. We got hot at the right time, maybe in 1 year. But this team isn't good enough, guys. I just gave you the list of players, and these guys are seeing time every week. It's not like these are fringe players, you can call them fringe players, but they're seeing game time every week.
Yeah, it's the facts. It's the facts.
Yeah, but in that sense, why would you give a new manager a rebuild? Why not get rid of these players and try and give the new ones to Jose? Have you not seen enough to prove that maybe he could improve us with a rebuild?
The way I see it, guys, since I started watching football regularly, there's 2 ways to look at a game: is the performance and the results. Jose isn't giving us performances. He hasn't. We had a couple of good games this year. The Man U game, we got a red card. That looked like a big win. Let's be honest, the red card was very fortunate at the time. I'm just being cynical now because we're looking back at all these games that gassed us up at the time. They're not. I don't think Mourinho's the manager for a rebuild. He doesn't look like we're going to be putting in, the type of performances that we expect from Tottenham. I mean, Pochettino, when we lost, did it have these type of feels? I know we blew some late games, but this year alone, West Ham today. And this is supposed to be an organized manager that sets up correctly and knows how to see it over the line. That's gone with Mourinho. So get a young, youthful voice, some energy, some passion, somebody who hasn't won it all and doesn't think that they're, the talk of the town and doesn't put themselves above the club. Someone who gets in there, gets their hands dirty, says this player isn't good enough. We need to invest here. Get this. If they're 19 years old, I don't care. I mean, Arsenal are still in the competition. They're playing 19 and 20-year-olds every week.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the excuse for us? Kane played 120 minutes today. He's supposed to be world class. He can't. I mean, we can't just keep making excuses. This is the day where we look ourselves in the mirror and say it's not good enough from head to toe, from Levy to Mourinho to the players, everything.
Completely agree, Mike.
All right.
But thanks for coming on, mate. Hopefully next time, a better occasion, man.
Hopefully, guys.
Thanks
See
for
you
coming on,
later.
man. See you next
Nice one,
time.
Mike.
Who have we got next, Joe? Danny. Let's bring on Danny.
Kirikau.
Danny.
Kiriakou.
Danny, can you hear? I can't hear him.
Hello?
Is he speaking?
No. Can you
Can't
hear?
hear him. Sorry,
Oh.
Danny. Let's go to the next person. I'm not sure are you on mute or something? Check if you're on mute. If not, we'll bring you back next time. Is he back now? No, wait. I'll get the next one. Let's go for Cody Mack.
Do.
Sorry, Cody. I can't sing your song today. I'm too upset. But by the way, Cody, I got the same hat as you.
I can't hear him. Are you mute, Cody? I can't hear him. One sec. There you go, Cody. There you go. I can hear you now.
Cody.
Wow.
Tell
My
me about
God,
it.
like-
Tell me about it. Tell me your thoughts.
It's really hard to process what we've seen, but it's clear that we thought when we stepped on the pitch that the tie was won already, and that's how we played, and we got the result that we deserved. Honestly, it was shocking. It was just shocking. And I mean, everyone deserves their share of the blame, and I don't really want to harp too much on it because I think the points that have been made are fairly clear. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely shocking. And it's hard to be a Spurs fan today. It is hard.
Yeah, it is.
I completely echo your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to really put your it's really difficult to put your finger on how many issues there are, because there seem to be a lot of issues in it. It kind of feels like it was all boiling to a head, all the problems Spurs have had this season, and we've kind of got away with it a lot of the times against
It's been boiling to a head since 2017.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying in terms of this season, we've had a few good performances, a few bad ones, and then you keep explaining away, or I have anyway, the lack of consistency for this reason or that reason. And I think now it's taken really this result to maybe a lot of fans realise maybe there has to be a change. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, like we were talking about yesterday, if we're going to be talking about blame and we want to talk about the manager, it's my opinion that there has been a lack of proper man management. And the leash has been too short on our squad players all season. So when you look at the team selection today, you can basically divide it into two pools. You have a group of players whom are trusted that are exhausted. And you have a group of players who are not trusted and are short on confidence because they have not been given the necessary minutes to maintain their confidence. Who would have thought at the beginning of this year that so many of our players would be playing so badly? I mean, if you just Winks and Sissoko and Delhi, I mean, it certainly is that if we're going to place blame on Jose, it's one thing he can stand there on the sideline and say press, but when we've worked our good players to the bone and you haven't done what it takes to keep the other squad players motivated and confident, you're basically whipping a dead horse. And that's kind of what we look like today. I mean, honestly, who can you even pick out today that you could give man of the match if you had to? I mean, we gave Marine more respect than we gave Zagreb today. We really did. And it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I tell you what, if there's anybody that needs an international break, it's me and it's the rest of Spurs fans, because this has just been one a capitulation of legendary proportion. Good for Zagreb. Good on them. They took it to us. It's probably the greatest moment in their club's history. But I mean, I know you guys can't see me on it right now, but I'm in my basement, and there's a damn good reason why my jersey and my scarf are hanging up very close to bottles of alcohol, because good Lord, am I going to drink my sorrows away tonight? It's just a dark day. A dark day.
Well, look, Cody, I really hope you have... keep it safe, by the way. Don't drink too much. But look, it is hard to take, but let's all just remember Tottenham till we die.
Yeah, well, yeah, Tottenham till they kill me. But and guys, I just want to say, God bless you guys. God bless We Are Tottenham TV for giving Spurs fans a voice, not only when we're at our highest, but when we're at our lowest too. This has to be just as difficult, if not more difficult, to be doing your job right now. And you're doing great work. So thank you for giving us a platform to voice our discontent. I mean, Will Stewart, what a better time to start a rant channel. My God.
Perfect timing for the launch.
Yeah, well.
What can you do? But Cody, always a pleasure to talk to you, man. And we'll speak to you in
All
a
right,
bit.
take care, guys.
Nice one, Cody.
All right, got a super chat here from Anyup Narayan. He says,
keep going,
Julian Nagelsmann took Hoffenheim, who were relegated, and finished fourth the next season. He didn't overhaul the entire team to do that. We definitely need a rebuild, but we can't sell the whole team. What do you make out of that?
I'm not saying Nagelsmann is a bad manager. I've never said that. He's a good manager, and I don't want to disrespect him.
No, I was more thinking about what do you say to that as opposed to another manager to coming in to this squad kind of thing without having a rebuild. Can they succeed?
I'm sure if a new manager came in, there would be a new manager bounce. But in the long term, without a rebuild, the same thing's going to happen. I'm certain of that for sure, and it's so frustrating.
We've said as late as last week, or as soon as last week, or a few days ago, we said that if we overhaul this defence, we'll see massive transition in this team. Do you still feel like that?
Yeah.
So do you feel that Jose is the man to do that, or do you feel like it should be another manager?
I think Jose could be the man to do that, but I also feel like he's going to be the fall guy. So I feel like...
But I'm talking about in your personal opinion, what you think should happen. Never mind what Daniel Levy's going to do. Never mind what you think is going to happen. What do you think should happen?
I would keep him on, and I would give him a rebuild. That's what I would do, because I think these players, they gave up at the back end of the potch, and they're giving up now. And for sure, Mourinho has to take responsibility for not getting the best out of some of the fringe player, like eke every ounce of ability that Poch was able to do up until his last year or so. But the fact is, he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to be forced. He shouldn't be put in a position where he has to eke every ounce of motivation to get good performances out of these players. He should have a squad who's capable of battling for top four. And as we said, the constant thing we said about Pochettino is he normalised overachieving. But I felt like we built the club up in such a way now where we shouldn't have to always be overachieving to get what we want. We should be able to build a squad of players that we should be able to compete without having to just squeeze every little ounce inch. And it's like if we're 1% off, then everything falls apart. And that's where we are at the moment.
But that's down to the owners and the board.
Of course it is. I think they're the number one problem. I don't think Mourinho's the biggest problem now. I don't think he's the biggest been the biggest problem for the past since he's taken over or anything. But at the end of the day, results like this, he has to take big responsibility for not being able to make sure the players get the job done today. When we're 2-0 up, we saw how we performed last week against Zagreb, how they didn't lay a glove on us, and he was able... Maybe it was because we were more comfortable and we were at home, and it was different kind of setting. But we were able to get the job done last week, and it's up. Mourinho has to take responsibility as well to make sure the players don't rest on their laurels. And he said he tried, and I trust that he did try, but it didn't work, and he has to take responsibility for that.
Is the current form making the decision to sack Pochettino even worse and worse day by day as it goes on?
Yeah.
Really
I think it looks terrible on that for sure. And we said at the time we thought it was the wrong decision. We thought we should have given Poch the rebuild, but I think they decided that maybe Mourinho could have done a different style and kept the same players, but it hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked, and now we're in a massive mess. We've got a few more super chats here. One from, I can't see the name here, but it says, "Thank you for your service this season. Horrible night. I expect Kane, Son, and Mourinho to leave in the summer now. Rebuild, new squad, new manager needed. Maybe top 4 in 5 years." And then Wayne Winter says, "Hi guys, I believe there's something wrong behind the scenes. It's like the players are not trying or downing tools, so Jose gets the sack. I'm not sure." Aaron Hughes says, "I wasn't Poch out. I'm not Jose out. The problem has been the players for 2 years now. The manager doesn't matter with this squad." I think there's definitely a big thing to say about that. And Vinicius Carrera says, this squad is done. A bunch of losers. We need a mentality for Spurs. They are not bad players, but we need winners. I feel sorry for Kane. And Son. The thing is with these players, like,
I feel sorry for the fans. Never mind Kane and Son. I feel sorry for the fans.
Yeah, but I feel like with these
endure
players,
this
like,
piece of shit football.
Yeah, Mourinho, you can say he's underachieving for not motivating his players, and I agree with that because, you know, Winks and Sissoko would get into the Zagreb team, whatever you think of it, and they should be able to compete. But on the flip side, they shouldn't need Mourinho in this game to get them motivated for their own careers. You know, they know just for as much as important for themselves as it is for Spurs and Mourinho for us to get through this time. You know, do they not want trophies on their CV? Do they not want to be known as like a great player, you know, and have accolades and stuff
for the whole
Is
career?
that what they want? Like, they shouldn't have to have Mourinho being up their arse all the time to be motivated. And I think the players take more responsibility than Mourinho in that case. But the fact that Mourinho, his whatever method he used to try and G them up also didn't work. So he has to take responsibility for that. But they shouldn't need that. That's my point.
I agree with you.
They shouldn't need that.
Look, at the end of the day, we're all in agreement that every single entity within the club deserves some blame. I mean, that's no two ways about it.
I mean, the third goal, the way he just drilled past three of their players without putting a tackle in, and he was able to get a shot off. I mean, that is just absolutely pathetic. And like, you shouldn't need a manager to tell you, "Oh, I should put a tackle in now." Like, a manager can't do every single thing on the pitch for you. He can set you up in a way, and he can give you all the information you
got
can.
to use your own brain.
Exactly. And of course, Mourinho has to take responsibility when it's not working, but the players also have to take a massive, massive chunk of responsibility when things like that today.
We've been chucking these players out all season, saying they're not good enough. It's there to blame, there to blame, there to blame. But, you know, like you say, we got to look at Jose as well, because like everything that you're saying is true. But Jose Mourinho, with his CV, coming in and not making pretty much any influence in this squad within a year. That's what this place to say that. He hasn't made any sort of influence at all.
He did for a time, and then it all fell to pieces.
When it actually mattered, though, when it actually matters in games where he had to win, Norwich in the Cup last season, and that's when we were going through an all right. Well, I know we had a lot of players injured at that time.
We weren't going for an all right moment, but I remember everyone was pinning our hopes in the FA Cup.
Yeah, you know, we were pinning our hopes on the FA Cup. We go out to Norwich, the Leipzig in the Champions League. All right, it was a tough game, and we had a lot of injuries at the time, but still. The fight and passion were not there. This season, going out in the FA Cup to Everton, I know we played well that game, to be fair, but going out tonight is the final straw for me. It really is, and I don't know where to go from here.
Going out tonight was absolutely unforgivable, and I don't know, because everyone says bring in Nagelsmann, but that's like another project manager, and it's probably going to take him another 2 years.
Yeah, but we need that. I think we need that. We need a project, because we need a massive overhaul.
Yeah, then we shouldn't have sacked Poch.
No, we shouldn't.
Wolf Mauler says, "Why hope for top 4 if we can't even handle Europa?" Spot on. And TK says, "Players playing to get Mourinho sacked."
Why we should hope for top 4 where we can't handle his Europa? Because we need the money to spend on players. That's why. Top 4 is such a desperation for us.
Agreed. But the attitude of these players, absolutely pathetic. It was pathetic, and it pissed me off. All right, how many more we got? 3. All right. Let's keep going. Sam?
You're right, Sam?
Going, guys.
Not great, Sam. How are you?
Yeah. I think agreed with basically everything that you guys just said. And I came on the show after the West Ham defeat. And I said that Poch should have been our version of Sir Alex. Now, fundamentally, the problem is the board, right? Because again, in forget football, but in any walks of life, you can't be in a job for 20 years like Daniel Levy has and not deliver. right? So that's fundamental. Yes, Mourinho. To be honest, Mourinho was never the right manager for us, and I even said that after the West Ham game, is that he seems to think that he has like John Terry, Carvalho, Ashley Cole, those guys in defence, and he continues to play like that with us. But you know, as we've demonstrated throughout the season, we can't defend, and you need. We need to play on the front foot, because the thing is, yes, we did beat teams in the kind of lower half of the season, but lower half of the table in the last couple of matches, but we were playing on the front foot. And it's like whenever we kind of are in a knockout situation where, you know, we're in, like, for example, today, even against Arsenal, we just kind of sit back. And the thing is when you've got the likes of Kane, Moura, Bale, Son, I mean, you can't fear anyone, because the thing is, those guys should outscore everyone. So I think that's where Mourinho takes the blame, is that, you know, he keeps on saying about, the basics of life and the attitude and the application. But fundamentally, Mourinho's got to take the blame, because I don't think he's getting the best out of the current squad. We can slag the players, but fundamentally, if the manager, someone like Jose Mourinho, is telling you to sit deep, what are you going to do? And that's the thing.
That's the thing. He's not telling him to sit deep, though. He's clearly not. That's the whole thing, is that he's telling them all these instructions, and yeah, they're not listening, and he has to take blame for them not listening as well. But what point do the players take responsibility?
Well, the thing is everyone is going to slag off the players, but the players are not going to lose their job, right? So
bloody well should.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, Dele Alli is not a bad player, right? So under Mourinho, why is he playing like that?
But what about him under Poch as well, though?
Well, if you think about it, Poch was with us for 5 seasons. Would you say Dele had one shit season under Poch?
I would say that his last maybe
I would say two
seasons were not good enough, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, but the thing is, Poch still finished top 4 in the last 5 seasons, and that's the thing. We do need a rebuild, right? We do need a rebuild, but why wouldn't you give it to Poch?
I agree.
Because
that's what we said.
I completely agree. That's what we've been saying.
Yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you? And fundamentally, the thing is, look, at the end of the day, we are rock bottom at the moment, and what I'm hoping for, because I think one of the questions that you asked, is there a quick fix, right? And I'm hoping that Mourinho will now just say we have to go for the top 4, and the only way that we can do that is just attack. Because if you think about it, the last 20 minutes against Arsenal, you know, when we're kind of 2-0 down and a player down, we start going for it. And even against even when we had 10 men, we created more chances because we went for it. So the thing is, that's where Mourinho takes the blame. And the thing is, it's like, if the team are not listening to what you want them to do, then you've lost the team.
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of the day, Mourinho is going to, he's not going to last. But the thing is, the consequences are going to be big, right? Because, sorry to say, but Harry's going to leave, and I don't think Son's going to sign a new contract as well. But the root cause of the problem is Daniel Levy, because, I mean, if he does going to bring, say Mourinho does get, he brings in a new manager, that manager still will have to work under Levy.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years. So that's where Daniel Levy's bosses, Joe Lewis has got to take the blame as well. The thing is fundamentally, Jose Mourinho's, again, I don't think he's doing a good job, right? But fundamentally, he's working around the environment that Daniel Levy has given him. And Daniel Levy's been like that for 20 years. And again, that whole Poch thing, I know it's not, we can't cry over spilt milk, but long-term fix, you need to bring someone like Poch back. Because and just hope Jose Mourinho goes for it. But the thing is, history shows the way that Mourinho is. It's not in his DNA. It's not in his nature to go all attack. And to be honest, that's what we've got to do because that's our strengths.
All right, Sam. Absolute pleasure having you on, man.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Nice one, Sam. Apparently, Lloris has been going on a big rant over on DAZN about the players. And apparently I'm trying to just piece through what he's saying on there because I'm just reading through subtitles. But someone tweeted us apparently saying that basically he was saying the players on the bench don't do the sacrifices for the team. One thing is to say I'm ambitious on TV, and the other thing is to show that on the pitch.
100%. This is what we've been saying all season. Is this not what we've been saying all season?
Yeah. So
and finally, someone's coming out to say it. My captain, Hugo Lloris.
Seems to be digging into the fringe players more.
100%, and more people should be doing that. I don't know why it's taken so long for someone to come out and say it.
And he was saying on the thing, I was just piecing through some subtitles, saying, you know, what's happening at the moment is a consequence of the culture in the club, and it needs to be changed. Basically, and the fundamental, they don't do the basics. They didn't respect the opponent, and mentally we have to be a lot stronger and have to behave in a different way, and that's what. So he seems to be extremely frustrated, I would say, Lloris, and seems to be visibly angry. I'll probably watch that in a minute, but yeah, Lloris over on DAZN has been digging into a few of the, obviously not naming specifics, but been digging into a few of the players.
All right, let's get Donovan on.
Donovan.
Yes, Donovan, how's it going, my friend? Donovan? Donovan, can you put your mic on? I think you might be on mute. Is he there? Is there anyone else? Because we can't hear him. Let's get Marcelo on.
Oh, God.
Is he there? Marcelo, we can hear you. We can hear you. We just can't see you. A bit of madness with the software today. Don't worry about it. But,
bro, it's been madness. This whole day, man. You know?
I mean, this whole season. Never mind. Well, whole last 2 seasons anyway.
It's probably a good thing that nobody can see me right now, man. Because you know, I'm a little bit broken up.
Talk to me, Marcelo. Talk to me. What did you put it all down to today?
Listen, man, I've been the biggest Jose defender, and I mean, I want to be loyal to the guy. For me, it is an underachievement. It's everybody, man. Just everybody, from the manager, from the players, and most of all from this board, man. They let Poch down, they let other managers down, and they're letting another one down, and unfortunately, as much as I respect Jose, and I still think he is a good manager, I think he would have success at every other club if they backed him. But unfortunately, we're a poor man's Chelsea, man. And you just got to face up to it. We're not going to back him, so what's the point of keeping him?
Do you think he'll be here next season, Marcelo?
No. And no, like, to be honest, this is a sackable performance from a manager. You can't score 1 goal against Dinamo. It's a sackable performance, man. I can't defend this. I can't defend them anymore, man. And we got to get someone. As much as I love him, and I think if we did back him, I mean, oh man, I as much as I would love to just back Jose and get him the players he wants, get them the Skriniars, get him all these players, But like, I just come to reality. It's like, as long as Enoch is gonna be here, probably won't be a top club. Probably will never see my team ever win the Premier League as long as they're here. which is sad to say, man. But that's the truth, the reality. You and I, we can't do anything about it. And maybe just get a manager that can work with Levy, like a Pochettino, that can perform a miracle. And because Jose can't perform miracles. He's a great manager, but he can't do what Pochettino does. He can't do that. He can't work with scraps and get the best out of players like Sissoko. And I know Poch got sacked by this team, but for many years he was getting, squeezing every juice that he can. And, I just don't see Jose as that type of manager, because to get knocked out by Dynamo, man, there's no excuses. If anything, Dynamo has all the excuses. Their manager's in jail. They have a lower quality, squad,
2-0 down.
they're 2-0 down. They had every excuse in the book to lose this game. Not us, man. Not
Agreed.
Jose, not these players, man. So big up them. But also I will say something about these players. We can talk about money, we can talk about this and that, but as a great guy told me, Jordan Stevens, one of our in the fan channel, told me, a little bit of passion and desire doesn't cost much. A little bit of passion and desire from these players won't cost much. That was spineless, bro. That was the most hurtful performance I've ever seen from Tottenham Hotspurs, man. I've seen some shit, like I've been, that whole Hazard goal, at the, Battle of the Bridge, that broke my heart. I nearly, just wanted to shell up and cry. I've been through some things, I'm sure you boys been through a lot as well supporting this club, but for me, this is the lowest I've ever been supporting this club, man. We went out there against a Croatian team, a Croatian farmers team, and that's what really they are, man. Like you got to look at the opposition, and we were beat off the park, tactically, physically, everything. They wanted more than us. They had the better game plan than us, everything, man. And it was, it's a tough one to swallow, dog. But it wasn't like,
Marcelo, let me ask you about Hugo Lloris's interview. Have you seen it, or have you heard about it?
No, I just heard it now that he went off, and good on Hugo, man. Like you said, my captain, man. It's time for these players to also own up. Listen, even though I can't defend Jose, and I think he has to go. I think he's just not the guy, and he's just, he's a great manager, but he's not. It's for me, it was clear. Like I can't admit I'm wrong. I'm not flip flopping. I'm just admitting that I was wrong, man. I really thought he could work out. Really thought it did, but for me, I think after today, it just clearly won't work out with Enoch, and it won't work out, and he's just doesn't have that mentality of where top 4 is good enough, where this is good enough. No, he wants to win trophies, and we're just not the club to do it, man. And honestly, everybody's saying Nagelsmann this, Nagelsmann that, bro, but like I don't even know why Nagelsmann would come. You have a good thing going on Leipzig, Nagelsmann. Don't leave there to come here, bro. And as far as Sonny and Kane going, bro, I wouldn't even stop them. They deserve more than this, man. They deserve more than this club.
Marcelo, is there a quick fix to this, or are we waiting 3, 4, 5 years to get back to where we want to be?
But maybe more, man. Maybe more. Knowing this club, there's no quick fix, man. We're not Chelsea. We don't have Abramovich. We don't have a Sheik at City. We don't have those guys, man. Those guys, they can just go like this, snap with their finger, and just be like, all right, let's rebuild. 1 or 2 seasons, they're back at it.
Who would you take then?
As an owner? Or as a manager?
Manager.
Man, I honestly, I don't even know, man. Like for me, at the end of the day, I still know what the result will be. Was that he will fail at Tottenham Hotspur. You know what I mean? I guess if you put in the grand scheme of things, what Pochettino did was a success. I think you said it, Ben. He worked miracles here at Spurs with what he had, and he did. He really did, man. And it's clear to see what it's like working with this board. Even the best managers in the world can't work with this board. And Pochettino worked miracles. So get whoever can work miracles, man. You know what I mean? If he can turn water into wine, get him in, man. It's just, but I know the end result, man. The end result is that we will win nothing. Maybe a cup if we're lucky, bro, lucky. You know what I mean? Like 1 Carabao Cup in 20 years. Like maybe a cup if we're lucky, but we will never. Like I already will say this, and I hate being negative. You know me, I want to give you guys positive news, but I can't do anything positive. We will not ever win a Premier League as long as Enoch is a owner of this club. We will never win a Premier League. Maybe we can get lucky with a manager like Pochettino and get to the Champions League, but even then, that's me being delusional, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we probably won't ever win that as well. So I don't know where the club goes on after this. I don't know. I think Jose will be sacked. Whether I want, like, I think he has to go after this, but whether I want to or not, I think it's inevitable. You know, like it's gonna happen, man. You know, Levy. He's probably already talking with Nagelsmann as we speak right now, man. He's probably talking with another manager as we speak right now, and he's a disgrace as well. Levy. How dare just go out in public and say you're talking with other managers when you have a manager in here, whether you like Jose or not. Whether this was Pochettino, Eddie Howe, like I didn't like that. When I saw news about that coming out of Pochettino, and I wanted Pochettino out, guys. You know what I mean? I thought it was the end of the road for him, but I did not like that when I heard that news, because it's like, how do you do that to a manager, man? How do you, like,
said,
that's such a
Marcelo,
slimy...
you said you wanted Pochettino out. Do you think that's a mistake now, sacking Pochettino?
Nah, I think he was tired of it. He was just tired of dealing with Levy's. He was tired of dealing with the scraps that he had. I think his miracles were running out, and I think he even said it himself in the documentary. There, he laid the signs there, man. If you really go back to his interviews, he talked about the whole furniture thing. He was talking about, I'm not a manager, I'm a coach. The board does everything. Even in the documentary, he was talking about. There was, ruffle in the house. He was getting separated from the players, getting separated from Levy. I just think he was just done. He wanted more, and he knew he wasn't going to get it at this club. And that's unfortunately the thing, man. 2016, 17, 2015, 16 were all seasons we could have pushed on and really win the league, if this board really just went for it. And they didn't. They let our manager down. They let Pochettino, a guy who I love, down, and they screwed him over, man, big time. And I think he knew that, and I think any manager should know that, because this is what this board will do. They will let you down, man. They'll let you as a manager down. And I always say this: the only difference between Pochettino and Klopp, they both inherited two poor squads, but they steadied the ship. But was when Pochettino steadied the ship, he got a two transfer ban. Two transfer ban. The difference between Klopp was he got 3 world-class players, man. Whether you can say, oh yeah, but they had the Coutinho money, bro. We had the Bale money and we didn't use that properly. You know what I mean? So that's not an excuse. They had the Coutinho money and they bought 3 world-class players. You know what I mean? Like, and look at the Champions League final. It was clear, because who were the world-class players that won Liverpool that game? Van Dijk and Alisson. They were fantastic in that final. They were the difference. I mean, look at Liverpool and Madrid. Like, when they had Karius, they lost. When they had, Alisson, they won. It's not a coincidence. You get world-class players, you get the big trophies.
You get
it's
what
simple
you pay
as
for.
that.
Mhm.
You get what you pay for, exactly. And Liverpool backed Klopp. Liverpool did not let Klopp down. They were ambitious, and we weren't as a board. Levy, Enoch, you're not ambitious. You don't care. Don't care about your manager. You let them down, and you let them take the fall. And listen, don't get it twisted. I'm not blind to this. Jose Mourinho will take the fall for this, and I've already accepted that. For me, the reason why I'm Jose out is not because I hate Jose. I love Jose. I think he's a great manager. I think he's a good guy. But I just accepted the reality of the truth that, man, like, it's just not going to work out. Just not.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, dog. I'm hurt. Sucks. I did that Matt Hayes podcast, probably one of the, or not the podcast, the watch alongs, probably one of the toughest things. And I want to appreciate you guys again, for doing this and letting me voice my opinion and, going through this. I feel you, brother. I can see you really in your heart. You really hurt as much as I am. And I don't know if you can hear my voice, but I was crying,
Of course
man.
we can. I can hear it in your voice, Marcelo. Don't you worry about that.
Nothing to
I'm
hype
broke,
today.
man. No, nothing to hype, man. I'm broke, man. I'm a broken man today, but it is what it is. Not, Tottenham already ruined my day, but I can only move on, right, guys?
Yeah. Look,
So,
onwards and upwards.
it's gonna take a
Tottenham
while
till we
to get
die,
over this
Marcelo.
one.
Tottenham till we
yeah,
die.
Tottenham. No, listen, that will never change. I'm gonna be in the Villa game. I'll be ready to go.
Are we going to beat Villa this weekend?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think I can be. Listen, I'll be in there for every game. I'll love this team, support this team. Well, not the team. I'll support and love this club forever. You know, I fell in love with this club. You know, I love the badge and I love everything. I love you guys. I love the fans. I love everything we stand for as a fan base and the club. But unfortunately, these players keep letting me down, and unfortunately, this board keeps letting me down and don't love us back. So, man, screw them. And come on, you Spurs. You have a good day.
All right.
Come on, you
Nice one,
Spurs. Tottenham till we die. Marcelo, thanks a
Tottenham
lot,
till you
man.
die.
Nice
Yeah.
one.
Big up yourself.
All right. We've got a few super chats to get through here. We've got Colin Lumsden said Potts tried to build a team and he never got backed. Levy want Jose. If Potts had been backed, I think we would have won us the league. Fritz says put your fork in Jose because he is done. Look at his past couple of years. What did he do? Will be sacked again and got his money. Who is surprised? Colin Lumsden says you need a Poch type manager on his way up, not someone who has lost that hunger because he's won everything. Boy Machiavelli says yes, Jose out, but the board are the Achilles heel. The way ENIC operate, they make the Spurs job so difficult to succeed. Completely agree. And Mintu Lee says absolutely spineless performance, but here's a donation anyway for bothering doing a fan show. You two are more worthy to be backed than any man in yellow today. Appreciate that, Mintu Lee. It's been a very, very tough fan show, I must say, and it's been tough to get through, just to get all our thoughts and our feelings about what is going on in this club at the moment after a performance like that. And it's difficult. I'm still piecing through what Lloris is saying on his interview, saying stuff like he's saying stuff. You have to do what the manager tells you, not just when you're in the starting 11, but also when you're part of a squad and when you're on the bench. You need to have the same attitude. And he said he was basically calling out a lot of players who don't have that same attitude. When
I need to see this interview. I need to see it.
That's what he kind of been saying.
Shame we can't play it on the live on the show.
Copyrighted, but
if it was a press conference, we'd be able to play it.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
All right. Let's get Bob on.
Bobby Singh, yes, Bobby.
How you doing, guys?
TV. I'm good. Well, not good. I'm actually pretty bad.
No.
But look, you and Mourinho out before today. Obviously, it's a bit. Obviously, things maybe not as much a surprise to you. But tell me what your thoughts are at the moment.
I've not been as vocal with regards to saying the words Jose out. I've always stated I'm Tottenham in.
Mm-hmm.
I love the club, and for me, Jose just hasn't done it. A lot of people forget that it's over a year he's been with us now. It's not just the beginning of this season. People seem to be judging him, and he did have a few players at the beginning of the season. If anyone said to you, you're going to get Bale, Reguilon, the Pierre and Vinny, just those four for an example, that is improving the squad in one way or another. Now, with regards to the mentality, the players aren't good enough. That's obvious to see, and it's obvious to see that the players haven't been performing as well as they can do as well. I use my analogy. I've got 4 kids, so I use this analogy. My 6-year-old's my favourite. So Bob Spur Jr. For me, if I said to him,
big up Bob Spur Jr. By the way,
that's it. If I said to him, right, today you're going to do this, and he fails to do it, that's fair enough. Second day, if I say again, right, you're going to do this, and he fails to do it again, I'm thinking, right, he's not listening to me. And if I say it for the 3rd time and he fails to do it again, I sit back and start questioning myself and start questioning, right, what other method can I use to get through to him? Because clearly he's not listening to me. My methods of explaining or asking him to do something is not right. For Jose, in a way, from what I can hear, I've not seen the full interview, but he's mentioned something about the players don't have the same, feeling towards the club as me. In a way, not in kind of a nutshell. He's called out the players in a way today as well. That's the 3rd time this season already. 3rd time already recently. When does Jose start questioning himself? That he's probably not good enough.
He did take some responsibility in that interview as well.
but it always comes down. He's never solely taken responsibility. I know it's not solely his fault as well, but if 3 times he's putting it on the players that they're not listening to me, at what point do you start questioning yourself? And yeah, we all know about, like I say, the quality of the players. Does it come down to the players not listening or not having the tactical nous, or purely down to Jose? I've always said there's a bigger picture with the board.
But
of course there is.
Hugo Lloris said it absolutely
I
spot
know,
on.
mate. I've just
you know what I mean?
Yeah, mentioned it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's not coming out and saying the manager isn't telling us the right things to do. He said it. I mean, players have said it before. The manager is telling us the right thing.
He said today Mourinho told them to attack and get the goal as early as possible.
Exactly.
And don't make it hard for yourself.
Exactly.
So, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
saying there's a mentality at this club that they need to get rid of this mentality at the club, and that is embedded within the players at the club.
Basically, Bob, what we're saying is, at what point does your 6-year-old stop becoming your favourite?
Never. He'll always be my favourite. But yeah, I know what you're saying. In fact, I'm watching the highlights now, and Lloris is on there as well. So obviously we might get something from that. But yeah. You know, if the players aren't listening quite, because remember that during the five wins, these same players were finally looked at and been thought as right. See, they're finally playing for Jose. They've knocked down tools. Jose's finally got it right. And I always said, you know, these 5 games I expect to win. I've got on record to say this: the 5 games that we won, I expected us to win. Mm-hmm. 3rd from bottom, 5th from bottom, mid-table, and 2 average European teams. And I did say going forward is our biggest challenge, and my opinions will reflect how we play in these 2 games. We bottled it against Arsenal. We bottled it today, and in my eyes, both the players and Jose take equal blame. There's a bigger picture, obviously, which we can get into some other time. But right now, because the board aren't going anywhere, no one's going to buy Tottenham out in the next season or 2 or 3. So right now, the immediate is the players and Jose, and unfortunately Jose is going to go quicker than the players. Having said that, there's every chance, like you've already mentioned, with Harry and Sonny going this summer. But Jose's unfortunately failed at the biggest 2 hurdles, along with the players, and I will stress that, after those 5 consecutive wins, when he had to really show a bit of mettle.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I do completely agree with that. From now to the end of the season, obviously no more Europa League football. We could, I guess one could argue we can fully concentrate on the league now, which actually most people are hoping we're going to fully concentrate on Europa League, but that's not going to happen anymore. No. Is there any way for you that Mourinho could achieve something to stay on, or do you think whatever happens from now to the end of the season, he should be gone?
Carabao Cup is a one-off game against the best team in Europe. Who knows what's going to happen in that? We've done all right against Man City previously. For me, the reason why Jose was brought in, his remit was to get us Champions League football. Now, I'm not confident because of our team. I'm more confident with top 4 is achievable because of the lack of consistency above us. That's why I reckon we've got a really small, minute chance. And if it came to, I mean, obviously we've got a final, so we can't go any. But he needs to really, him and the players together, really need to push on in the league now. The top 4, game in hand, and if we're 6 points behind Chelsea. Like I say, six points away from top 4. Any other season with 10 games to go, you'd kind of think, you know what's foregone conclusion. Chelsea have shown a bit of consistency, but we can all hope that the inconsistency goes into them like every other team there is. So that's the only reason. And I've mentioned to you before, being disillusioned and clutching at straws is all about being Spurs fan. And we need to do that just to bring a bit of joy to our lives and a bit of hope to our lives. And if he does get top 4 at the end of the season, at least he's got a bit of credit in the bag, and at least he can show us, right, even with some average players, he's managed to get us from where we are on the lowest possible day of the season, as the lowest day of the season, into the top 4. At least he's got a bit of credit behind him. At least got a bit of clout to go to the board and say, look, I've done what I've done with the average players. Get me some funds, let me get some players in, and then watch me what I'll do. That's the only way. So top 4 will be, for me, the only way. I'd probably give him a few funds, but it's if we carry on playing the way we've been recently, last 2 games, guys, it's very unlikely, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Bob, man.
Nice one, Bob.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come
on,
you
you
Spurs.
Tottenham till we die.
That's it, mate.
Lauren Ritchie says, we deserve better than this. Disgrace. I completely agree with that. And Colin Lumsden, seeing pictures of Chelsea winning titles on the wall in the Spurs office is a joke. The pictures should be of our past victories. Well, we haven't won a Premier League title, so what can we do? Mario Da Silva says, Mourinho took over an ageing core group of players lacking confidence. He's had one summer in the weirdest season ever. He brought forth Pierre, Tongi, Bale and Reggie. Give him more time? Look, I'm not against giving Mourinho more time. The way things are heading, I don't think he'll get it. And I think he should be doing more with what he's got at the moment. Despite these players, a lot of them being average, we're better than what we're showing. And we should be able to get through past the last 16 tie against Zagreb with a 2-0 lead with the squad we have. And Mourinho has to take responsibility. Players have to take responsibility first and foremost. That's how I see it anyway. Any more? Spurs from the south. Last one. No. Who's here?
Spurs from the south.
Spurs from the south.
Hello?
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a... it's been a trying couple of games, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, what's your feelings around the manager's position?
I'll be honest. Over the season, some of the games it's just been tough to watch. Is Jose's style of sitting back and sort of you know going on the counter? It's difficult to watch. And then you get to the sort of last 10 minutes of a game, and then we start playing, and by that time it's all over, and I'm just fed up with it. I'm fed up with the style of football. 6 of the guys in the team tonight, just not good enough for this team. And don't really know what to say more than that.
Do you think another manager could come in and get a tune out of these players, though, for a sustained period amount of time?
I think it's hard to say, but I think I've heard a couple of the other guys, and I think maybe we should give him to the end of the season, because, to be honest with you, it's pretty much a write-off, apart from maybe the cup final. And you never know, he might pull something out of the bag. It's Jose. But I just think after that we need to get rid of some of this squads. Look at bringing someone new in. I'll be honest, I don't know who really I would suggest at this point. But bring someone new in, just give them some fresh players, and just it's because it's going to be difficult to keep Son and Kane as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did go. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, after the Arsenal game, I didn't think we could go any lower. I thought maybe we could sort of see this through to the next round, and but. It just hasn't gone that way.
Yeah, I mean, it is really hard to take, and I personally don't know where we kind of go from here, and I'm sure you're feeling the same. But if we do somehow finish in top 4 this season, does that save his job?
I think it probably would. I think Levy would necessarily be happy with that, and then obviously, even if we lose in the final, we could say, well, he's got us to a final. But for me, I wouldn't necessarily want him to be here next season. I watched the play, and I have been watching Spurs for the last sort of 20 years, and I don't like how we play. We play attacking football, and the way we're playing at the moment is just too. It's hard to watch. I can't put it into words.
Yeah, but let me ask you. Let me ask you this. You know, in the after a year of Pochettino, you could have easily have said the same thing about our football. Very hard to watch. It was really, really difficult at times, and we had a lot of embarrassing defeats that season as well. I remember, and then in the summer, there was this whole what they called the bomb squad or whatever. People who weren't fighting for the manager, players who didn't want to play for him, like has been accused of now. It seems, and we didn't get rid of Poch. What we did is got rid of I think we got rid of 13 or 14 players that summer. And why are people not saying I would rather get rid of the players fighting for the manager rather than get rid of the manager? Whereas back then it was very widely accepted that we needed to get rid of the players.
Well, it was like when Pochettino said after the Champions League final, he said, that he is. He said at a point that he felt that he could only take this squad so far from that, and I think because I still find it hard to take in the Champions League final. When I say that, what I mean is that we have this ethos at the club that like Kane plays when he's fit, and don't get me wrong, he's one of the best players in the world, absolutely. But if you remember at a time where we had Mora playing, and him and Son were absolutely incredible, that for me like killed Mora in that final. Like when you sort of you start Kane in front of him just because he's come back from an injury, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess get rid of some of the players in the summer. I don't know, but I just feel that Mourinho was just brought in to get us to a cup final, get us a trophy, and then we move on from that. But yeah.
Okay, nice one.
Thanks for coming on, my friend.
No,
cheers,
for coming
guys.
on, mate. Cheers for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Go on.
TJ Lewis says, leave it to Tottenham to actually make me miss 2020, because at least we were top of the league for a time. Off to the pub now. Cheers, lads. Come on, you Spurs.
Well, at least you got a pub to go to.
Oh, yeah, the US. And Jory, the Joracle, is speaking, saying, players out, in capitals and exclamation marks. I thought I'd shout that. Players out. Last one?
One more. Alex after.
Okay. Danny. Is he on?
You right, guys? Can you hear
Danny,
me?
yeah, I know you've been getting in and out of the system all stream, so I apologise for that.
Don't worry about it.
But happy you're here with us now. I mean, what do you make of that shit show today?
It's absolutely fucking disgraceful, to be honest. I think so many people have said tonight, have kind of said what I've been feeling. I think what all of us have been feeling, really. So I don't know what more to add to that, to be honest. It's just, I think, do you know what, right? It's not, I think it's everyone's to blame for it, right? This has been going on for a couple years now, even when Poch was here. It's partly the board, it's partly the way how the managers and the staff work with the boards, because we've seen so many people, we've seen Poch go, I still think as well, our recruitment is pathetic. I think Steve Hitchin is a joke, to be honest with you. I think he has not helped the situation, and obviously everyone seems to have this problem with Daniel Levy. I know the thing is, right, with what's been going on with Spurs, and I think what Daniel Levy's done, he's had this vision in his head of trying to make us as sort of global as possible, right? And part of that was the stadium, because he saw longevity in our future and stuff like that. But what he did was he decided to push through on that at the time when we really needed to invest in the squad. And if he halted, right, that stadium move, we could have put a bit of money into the squad, get a couple of players in when we had that chance, and we could have probably we might have actually won a big trophy, and we probably could have made more money and grown our name more globally on the pitch. And then he could have actually progressed the stadium after we've actually had a bit of stability with being a sort of bit better on the pitch and things like that. And I think it's all come from sort of then really how we're sort of derailing at the moment, how we keep going on this decline. And I think, like, do you know what? I can honestly say, I think it's kind of what Marcelo was saying as well, that unless something changes with the mentality with the board, I don't think anything's going to change. Because do you know what, right? With Mourinho, I kind of feel we all know that, right? Some of his decisions in terms of who he's picked in games have not been the greatest, right? And we've all agreed with certain players that should have not started or things like that. In certain games, should have played a different player, etc. Right? And we know he's made mistakes there, but it's down to the players, right? And they're not listening to what he's saying. And a lot of these players, again, I think Sim touched on it as well. They're still part of the players that Poch wanted to get rid of, and he was saying that they need to go, and they're not good enough because they're not playing for the badge. Like I think someone said earlier on, these are players who are getting paid hundreds of thousands, some of them like 100 grand a week, right? And they're not playing for the badge. They're playing for their paycheck. They're playing to take their money, and they don't even care, right? And it's pathetic because it was us that are paying for their wages, right? It's us fans that pay for the merchandise, for going to the games and everything else, right? That's paying their wages, and for them to put in a performance like that with just literally no focus, no energy, no desire, no nothing, it's just absolutely disgraceful, to be honest. And I think that they don't deserve to play for Spurs, to be honest. And I think the only way it's going to change is, again, like when Sim was saying earlier, when Poch came in, his first sort of season, they were thinking about sacking him. Do you not remember when it was that game when Harry Kane scored that freak against Villa, and that the results started changing, and we won that game 2-1, right? And then it was since then we started sort of playing a bit better, and then that summer they had a massive clear out. They got rid of Ben Taleb and all those players that were just not playing.
Lennon, Soldado, all
of them. They got rid of all of them, right? They brought in Harry Kane, they brought through Winks, they brought through a few other youngsters. Kyle Walker they brought in, and they brought him up a bit more. And I think they need something similar this season. I think, if I'm honest, I know people want maybe Jose out and things like that. I don't think it's Jose that's the biggest problem here. I think if he is backed, right, like how Poch should have been backed, I think he can get a better tune out of the players and build something that he actually wants, players that he wants, because we've all seen it this season, right? There's players in that squad he does not trust, right? He's overworked so many of these players, and that you can see and what it's doing is they're so drained out of it, and they can't give 120% anymore. Well, it looks like it for the last sort of couple games anyway. And the rest of them, like Hugo was saying on his interview, they're just not giving enough. Like when they're given their chance to give enough, they're not doing it. And those are the players, it's these fringe players that need to go because they're making our whole squad worse. And it's giving like an energy for the squad. And I think it's that energy that's fucked up basically. And I think, yeah, they just need a massive clear out. And I could name about 8 players that I think need to go, because if you look at it, right, where like, because we're not, I don't know if we're going to get Champions League football, right? I don't know if we're going to get top 4.
Doesn't look like it at the moment.
It doesn't look like it at the moment. And it was like last season. Do you remember when we got knocked out of the FA Cup, right? And we were like, right, we've got no other games to play now. We've got the Premier League to focus on. Try get in. And then we had some important games. That one against Sheffield United, and that completely fucked our top 4 chances up last season. And then after that we lost another game, and then we drew a few, and then we couldn't get into that top 4, and we only managed to get where we finished last season. So yeah, I think it's just a lot. There's a lot that needs to be changed within the squad, and I think it's the players. And if you look at it as well, sorry, do you really see Daniel Levy, right, getting rid of Jose Mourinho if those rumours are true about his contract, right? Can you really see him having like a £30 million at the end of the season with how things are going in the club with the finances and stuff like that? I can't see it.
No, no chance.
And I think that the only way they're going to fund the money is through player sales, and that's where they're going to have to. Well, they have to look at it, because at the moment I actually don't think ENIC know what the fuck they're doing. They've got no idea. That they're looking at this situation right now, and they're like, "What do we do? What do we do?" And it's just like, yeah, it's disheartening for all of our fan base. To be honest.
I agree. I think the future is the most concerning thing for a lot of our Spurs fans, because with no Champions League football, what money are we going to have to spend on players we need? What's Harry Kane going to think of the whole situation when we're not progressing? When we've just brought in one of the best managers of the past decade, or the past century, you could argue, and even he can't improve the situation. What's a new manager who's not going to have funds to do what he wants going to do? What's going to help the situation? But let me ask you this, Danny. Who's more responsible when today, players who obviously Winks and Sissoko are clearly average players. I'm not going to say they're not, but
Yeah.
they would they get in the Zagreb team probably, and are they good enough to be in a part of a team to hold a 2-0 lead away in Zagreb and get through to the quarterfinals of Europa League? You would say yes, but when the players don't go into the game with the right attitude, who's more responsible? Is it Jose Mourinho for not motivating them, or is it the players for not having that respect for themselves? Who's more responsible?
I've heard people tonight say, "Oh, it's partly Jose," because I know Bobby was saying about the motivation stuff with players, right? But someone else touched on it earlier, right? That the players, they're not little kids, right? They're not 2-year-old, 3-year-olds who need to be motivated to go out and do something, right? These are players that are paid a lot of money, and they're privileged people, right? They should be privileged to be playing for Spurs because Spurs have chosen to buy them for the club, to play for this club. And if you can't motivate yourself to go and play against Dinamo Zagreb, right, and then lose 3-0 and defend shambolically like that, it's for me, it's the players. It's not. I don't think it is Jose that's the problem. I think it's the players, because Poch saw it. He kept saying, and like I think Marcelo was saying, he threw out these like little things here and there towards the end of his tenure, saying that the board need to be brave. They need to be brave, and it's not just buying the players about being brave. It was about selling the players that we had that needed to go. And Ericsson was one of them that I think he wanted to get rid of, because Ericsson's head was not there and his heart was not there anymore. And what did Levy do? No, I can't. I want more money for him. And then he ended up staying, and then we ended up getting less for him in January. If we actually decided to get rid of him for a higher fee, we could have brought in someone else. So that is Levy's fault, and that's the board's fault, because they're deciding. They're the ones who make the decisions, right? And Jose can only work with what he's got, right? And what he's got right now is not a good enough squad. He's got, let's count, right? You can count how many, like,
is it not good enough?
players.
But wait, Danny, is it not good enough in quality, or is it not good enough in like attitude, or both?
It's both, because the thing is, attitude comes from a quality professional, a quality player, right? Kane and Son, right, and Højbjerg are the sort of biggest examples in our squad who've got the best mentality, professionalism, attitude, desire, right? But we haven't got enough of those type of people. I'm not saying in terms of their level of those players, but in terms of their type of desire and passion and wanting to, like, just that desire to win. They're not there. And Kane and Son, right, and Højbjerg, I think, have been carrying this team a lot this season. And you wouldn't blame him if it goes. But on that, right, can you see anyone paying what Levy would actually want for Kane because of his age? Yeah, do you see anyone in this market right now, apart from maybe Man City, PSG? I don't know if Man United would pay for that, but can you see anyone else paying for that? I can't see it.
You just named 2 clubs there that would, though.
Yeah, but would they go in the summer and go and buy Harry Kane? Do you think you could see that?
I can't see why PSG wouldn't do that with Poch at the helm as well.
Well, that's another club. If that's the case, then I mean, I would say let's take 150 million for him. Even though I don't want him to go, because he's the embodiment of Spurs, right? But at the end of the day, where is this club going? And it's for the board to answer, to be honest.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. But look, Danny, thanks for coming on, man. Sorry it took you so long to get on.
That's
but,
cool. No worries, lads.
It sounded like you needed to get a lot off your chest.
I've got a lot more. I know you. I can be speaking all night to you guys, but the thing is, I wanted to touch. Everything you do is brilliant tonight, especially having to listen to everyone rant on about. This is probably like one of the worst performances a lot of us have seen in a long time.
Yeah.
We didn't think it could get worse, and it fucking just did. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a new low.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Cheers,
guys.
Good to see you, though.
Good to see you. Good to speak to you.
Oh yeah. Next time.
Next time.
Let's finish off with...
got a couple of super chats quickly.
Josh
King Coy says, please forget that Jose being here is also costing the club money, as he hasn't been able to get top 4. Levy will pull the trigger. Our club is a mess.
All right, let's get Alex on.
And last one, Colin Lumsden. Is Alex there? Let me just read it out. Jose is a mega club manager. Alex. He needs big money. If they didn't want to buy the best players, why get a manager that has worked with the best? Yeah, I get that. I get that point. Alex, last call of the night.
No, we got Dicko after.
Oh, not last call of the night.
Second last call
Second
of the
last,
night.
penultimate.
Hello.
Hi, you can hear us? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All good.
Lucky
Well,
people
not
can't
really.
see people can't see your room this time, so you're probably breathing a sigh of relief.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. It is
pristine
completely
today. It's absolutely pristine.
Pristine. No,
You know what? You know what? If your room isn't messy after that performance, I'd probably have some questions to be honest, because I'd be chucking things left, right, and centre.
You were chucking things.
My phone was halfway across the room at one point.
Yeah, I don't blame
I'll
you.
put it that way. I mean, what can I say apart from all of the above?
Yeah.
All the callers so far. What can I say?
Let me ask you, Alex. There's been a lot of debate today of whether everyone's saying Mourinho is on the brink, and I'm not totally. I can totally understand that reaction. I'm not totally against it. But when a performance like today, when the attitude of the players, and when Lloris is saying, the attitude of the fringe players who come into the team, they need to do what the manager asks them, and it's not good enough that it's just the players who are in the starting 11 doing what the manager asks them. It has to be everyone in the team as well. Who is more to blame when players have the wrong attitude for this kind of game? Is it Mourinho for not motivating the players, or should the players need motivating at this level?
We're playing in the Europa League is the Champions League, is it? But you're playing in a European competition. Your Premier League players. I'm sorry. You have to motivate yourself. Obviously, it doesn't excuse the manager. I'm sure we'll come to that. But the players have to motivate themselves. And you know what? That Hugo Lloris interview, I watched it, and it's the first day. I don't know what it is, right? But we know there's various journalists around the club. Alistair Gold, others, loads of others, Evie Sander, I can't remember his name, Dan Kirkpatrick, that's it, and others, Athletic, and they all seem, everything we hear from the club, Tottenham doing an incredible job of keeping things quiet, and they only get fed stuff from the club, and they all hear about it at the same time, and that's what happens. When Kieran Trippier left a couple of summers ago, if you remember back, after he left the club, he did reference some things happening behind the scenes, which we never ever found out about, heard about once again. And I don't know about you, but it just seems like there just seems to be a lot of things happening which we just don't know. We have no clue what is going on at this club, and that's a very I don't know.
I mean that Hugo Lloris interview. Some of the comments in that Hugo Lloris just stinks of. Do you remember back when Sherwood was making those statements after the game? How they'll forget about that result on the coach. I mean, it just seems as though we've got those same kind of issues festering in the squad as we did then.
Here's a quote. He says, "We had great moments in the past because we could trust the togetherness of the team. Today, I'm not sure about that."
I saw that one.
That's pretty damning. Would you not say? But is that how much is that down to Mourinho? Like, for example, when there was a fractured in the early days of Pochettino, there was a very, very fractured squad. If you remember, very fractured, and we got rid of all the players who weren't on side. But at the moment, it kind of seems like everyone's ready to chuck away Mourinho in favour of this fractured squad. But what's your opinion on it?
What can you? It's difficult because I completely agree with everyone who says this squad is fractured. There are very, very bad eggs in this squad, and the problem is we can see who's not performing on the pitch. We can see that, but it is very much more difficult to know behind the scenes who are the actual bad influences. They could be the top performers on the pitch. In fact, out of what there is, we just don't know. As I've said already, I think that. It's difficult because Pochettino, he had that very tumultuous period at the start, and then things obviously they got much better. But Mourinho has had a year now to implement what he wanted to do on this squad, and I don't know what he's been doing. We brought him in to change the mentality and win trophies, right? That has not been achieved. I know people are going to say, "Oh, wait, we've got the cup final. I can guarantee you, don't look forward to that. Don't count on that one, because after that it'll be all over if we lose it. Everything will be all over for us. And when you've had this much time in the squad, and you can't sack you can't just tear up contracts for every player. You got to change the manager. And the thing that has actually cemented my position is Chelsea and how they have made a change, a very brave change, I might add. I thought Frank was going to fail from the start, and bringing in Tuchel, look, he's been, it's like he's been there for years. Tuchel, it's like, and when you look at that, and now look at Mourinho, who's been look at the Chelsea's defense under Lampard was not good whatsoever, and look, he comes in, completely changed it. How many we conceded more than they've conceded in, I think it's like 12 games or something tonight.
Yeah,
against Dynamo, like it's unbelievable, and that has really cemented my position. Jose has to
But
go
is
at
that
the end
not
of
a
the
bit
season.
different? Because Lampard was managing from a position of very little experience, and he was and I was from a position like, is this guy? Well, we're not sure what Lampard is. Is he a top manager? Is he not? It's his first real proper job. Mourinho isn't really like that. We know what Mourinho is. Mourinho is a top manager. He's proved it over many years. And do you not think it's a bit different to the situation at Chelsea, where yeah, fair enough, they did sack Lampard, and it has worked out for them, but is it not a bit different?
I think that if you look at the start of the season and compare the teams, I would have said we've got an amazing, incredible team, and everyone was praising the
Chelsea did
business
spend
we did.
200 million.
Chelsea spent 200 million, but and you do have a point that, you know, obviously their top players weren't performing, and you're right, it is a bit of a different situation. But I do think the point still stands in that when you give a manager a year, you'd expect more of an impact than a manager who's had just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And you know, Chelsea.
Well, you always get a new manager bounce a lot of the time. I'm not saying this Chelsea form is down to that, but that is a thing.
New manager bounces are certainly a thing. I mean, look at Dynamo tonight. They've had a pretty.
My manager went to prison bounce.
Yeah, so they've had a very significant one. I do see what you mean, and obviously with for example, Ole, when they brought him in, they had a massive bounce, of course, and then dips. That is normal, but you can already see the thing with Mourinho is through the entire, what's it been now, year and almost a half, I suppose, year and a quarter that he's been here, there's been too many ups and downs, if that makes sense. There's been too many peaks and troughs where you've said, this is the game which is going to dent his Tottenham career. I can think Sheffield, the 3-1 tonight, obviously, and many others. Really poor results, which just have made.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you look at the players we've got, and I know people are referring to the board and everything and saying, you know, everyone, they've got to take responsibility. I agree in a sense. You know, the board have to take responsibility for the general management over the last 20 years. But I don't actually think for this season they've done much wrong. Actually, we were all praising them in the summer and I still actually think we did incredible business. They did back Mourinho, and everyone said he has no excuse. He has to deliver, and he hasn't. Whether that's due to underlying fractures within the club is another factor. We simply have no idea. As I said, I keep thinking back to that Kieran Trippier departure and thinking something was really odd about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, but that was under Pochettino. So what if we get a new manager and the fractures are still there? Are we going to blame him as well?
Good question. Good question. And that's why, in my view, it has to be when we brought Mourinho, it was very much, it wasn't a long-term appointment. That was never the aim. It was, you know, we have to keep our players around, win trophies, etc., etc.
They thought it was a quick fix, Jose Mourinho.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And that's the problem. This squad never required a quick fix. It was a long and painful rebuild, exactly as Pochettino said it would be, and what we needed. And by bringing in Mourinho, you're just prolonging the fractures that were already there. If you bring in, and look, I'm being more, let's just face it, the trophy isn't going to be coming anytime soon. It's not going to. For every single, I mean, how for 20 years, apart from one League Cup, can you just not even... It's actually, for the size of club we are, to not win another trophy is just, it is beyond belief, honestly. And that is why I think we just require a fresh start under, I'm not saying an experienced manager, like, you know, getting a club legend or anything. I don't think we should do that.
Don't worry, Alex. Scotty Parker's waiting for the job.
Scott Parker, yeah. Well, let's get Tim Sherwood back while we're at it.
Yeah, right.
No, but that's why we need to get in someone like If he, I mean, I think it's fantasy at this point, but someone like a Nagelsmann, I know it's a bit cliche at the moment, but I do think someone in that sort of ilk who can come in and just completely fresh start, not a continuation of this squad, rather a complete and utter rebuild, which, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. I've defended the there's not a lot of money at the moment going around. I've defended the board and said that in past, but contorization, it's not my money. And actually, it's not my money whatsoever. And I'm a fan of this club, and they should be doing everything they can to make us fans happy. And we are not happy at the moment. And yeah, I'm deeply worried, and I think Kane is going to leave this summer. I'm pretty certain actually he's going to leave the summer. Him or Son probably even getting to the point of has to go. Really,
if we sell both Kane and Son, it can have the impact of our squad when we sold Kane and Berbatov in the same season.
2 points from 8 games. Boy.
Yeah. I mean, Son's contract situation. Where's that contract? That's gone dark. I thought that would have been signed already. He's got 2 years left, doesn't he now?
Yeah.
I think is he 2? Yeah.
I think it might be 3. I'm not sure.
But either way, we're going to have to be looking at something like that now, because we need to finance the rebuild, and it's not going to be coming from any other way. Unfortunately, I love Harry Kane.
Especially if we don't get Champions League, that's for sure.
100%. I love them to bits, but it gets to the point where the board are going to take a look at it, surely.
And think about what's best. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
To you as always,
Thanks
mate.
for coming on, man, and we'll speak to you next time. All right, and now the last call of the day, Dicko.
Yes, Dicko.
Dicko, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, not bad. You?
Yeah, just trying to. I don't even know what I'm trying to do.
I'm just trying to calm down. I'm just trying to calm down.
Yeah. So come on, talk to me. What'd you put it all down to today?
Do you know, I've been listening to this for a while. I've been sat here eating my Papa John's, depress eating. Yeah. Sat here eating
comfort eating.
Pizza. Yeah, comfort eating. Could call it that. Listening to people's opinions. I like that someone's brought up Steve Hitchen. You know, I like that because I know we always say Mourinho this, the players that, Levy that. I like that someone's brought up Steve Hitchen because what he said in the Amazon Prime documentary that he hates half his job. How what are you doing? What are you actually doing at a club? And you're going, I hate the January transfer window. You have 2 windows, right, to sign players. 2 windows, and one of them you hate. What are you doing at the club then? You might as well not bother. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got people like that at the club. No wonder we're like this, because our chief scout don't want to be here. He sits there and he admits on Amazon Prime that he don't want to be here.
It's not that makes me think that he's not right for the job. For me, it's clear to see there's clear night and day between Paul Mitchell and Steve Hitchen, isn't there?
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? But where do we go from here, and how long do you reckon Jose's going to last?
Do you know what? We know how it goes with the club. We're not going to pay him 10 million to walk away. Absolutely no way. Levy will not do that. No way. He'll be staying till at least the end of the season. There's no way we're going to pay him £10 million to walk away from the job. No way.
So how's he going to get this Champions League revenue that he's dying for, Daniel Levy? You can say whatever you want about Daniel Levy, but you know that he needs Spurs back in that Champions League.
Yeah, he does. He said that from the start of the season, and it doesn't look like we're going to get that now.
Mm-hmm. So where do we go from here then?
Oh, do you know what? There's so much I want to say, but I know you boys probably want to go to bed.
You're not wrong.
I want to tuck up in bed as well. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, man.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood a bit. It's like Chris from Love Island. Do you want me to rap to lift the mood?
Yes, please. Go for it. Take the floor, Dicko.
Yeah.
Man.
But you've got to laugh, man, or you'll cry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, apparently there's a video going around of Ledley King crying on the sidelines.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
You know what? I like that.
Actually crying?
Not crying, but dejected.
Yeah.
All the rival fans obviously call it crying, but
yeah.
I think my opinion, I'll give you it short and sweet and let you tuck up in bed.
Go on then.
My opinion is, I think, yes, Mourinho has been an unbelievable manager, and everyone has to respect that. There's no. We can't sit here as basically Crystal Palace with a nice stadium and say, oh, we don't like Mourinho, this, that, and the other. He's a useless manager. I don't think we, as Tottenham fans, have the right to say that. But the way he has us playing and the results that we are getting is not good enough, 100%. And we have, as fans, we have the 100% have the right to say that.
I agree with that.
I don't think. I said it from the start, and Daniel Kingsley will back me up here. I said the hiring of Mourinho is a big mistake. I never agreed with it from the start. I backed him because, as I do, you back your manager when you support.
Is that more because you thought sacking Poch was a mistake, or you think actively having Mourinho was a mistake?
I thought it was both. Poch did an interview with Gary Lineker, and he said, we need a painful rebuild. There are players at this club, basically saying there are players at this club that shouldn't be here, that aren't good enough to be here, but he was too nice about it. I'm telling you now, if that was Mourinho, he'd be naming this, that, and the other, saying this player needs to go, this player needs to go, this player needs to go. But Poch was too nice. He says, he's in an interview, he's being professional. He said, it's a painful rebuild. We now have a mansion with plastic furniture. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
We have a mansion and plastic furniture, and it's up now. It is up to Daniel Levy to turn that around. Okay.
But there's only so much Daniel Levy can do because you need clubs that are willing to buy these players.
I know. And do you know what? He does work his magic. I'll give him that with signing and selling players. I will give him that. But I think if they say we want to be this elite club and challenge for titles and stuff like that, but if Mourinho goes to them and says, I want you to buy Ruben Dias, and they say, well, I don't know about that. We'll give
you can have Joe Rodon, mate.
You can have Joe Rodon instead. It's like, and Mourinho goes to him, is it all right if you buy Bruno Fernandes? No, you can't have Bruno Fernandes. You can have Jedson Fernandes, the Tesco value version.
Literally,
it's you have to. Mourinho said what he wanted from the start, and all the links were coming out. We were getting all excited. He says, "Oh, we're going to get Bruno Fernandes. We're going to get this, that, and the other." And Levy's like, "No, you're not." Do you know what I mean? Like, if you have to be, someone said it earlier. Like Klopp got to Liverpool and they backed him. They was ambitious with him. They said, "All right, we'll give you these players, and you see what you can do." But on my other argument is that it took him 4 years to do it.
Yeah, that's also true.
Are we going to back Mourinho and give him more time, or are we not? We have to make a decision quick because, like Sim said, it could go one way or another. We could give him a rebuild and we could gradually get to where we want to be, or it could just fall to bits, like it did with Man United and like it did with his second spur at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it's a big, massive call for Daniel Levy and the board to make. Do you sack him and pay out the 10 million and bring in Nagelsmann and say, here you go, we're going to give you a rebuild, bring in half your geezers from Leipzig and try and tear up the Premier League? Because that's what that's
what do you want. What do you want to happen deep down your heart?
Oh, mate, that's just the hardest question I've ever had to answer. Because I don't know. I think it is time for Mourinho to go. Personally, I've backed him for long enough now, and I respect him a lot, and I respect what he's won. But now it happened with United. It happened with Chelsea. It's his tactics, the way he sets up his teams to go ahead in a match. It doesn't work with the modern day of football.
But that's not the way he's setting up his team. The player's not listening to him.
That's true. That is true, actually, yeah. That's true. Because you saw that, actually, from the North London derby. Sacramento and him stood at the touchline shouting.
You see what Lloris has said today?
But Lloris said it today.
Yeah.
He said the players are on the bench who are not starting in the starting 11. They're not doing what the manager says, and it's not good enough.
Yeah, that was my next point. Do you know what? There's the biggest gap in class from our starting 11 to our say, rotational players. That the gap in ability is massive. I've never seen such a massive goal in ability. There's like, it's stupid because you've got world-class players in a team with the likes of players that could maybe get into like a, I don't know, like a Burnley team maybe or something. Like it doesn't make sense. The contrast of players is not there. It's so strange. You've got Gareth Bale, like 3 or 4 time Champions League winner, in the same team as Ben Davies, and that's not for Wales. That's for a club. Like, I don't. It's just the contrast of ability is woeful. And you say these players, they should be good enough to be rotational squad players, but we give them an opportunity to go to Zagreb to protect a 2-0 lead and they let us down to Zagreb.
Yeah,
I didn't know how that was before today, before the last time we played them. Zagreb, what, 2-0 up, right? You're Tottenham Hotspur. You're playing for Tottenham Hotspur. You're 2-0 up, and all you need to do maybe score an away goal, and you're
that's all
through.
you need to go. 1 goal and the tie's dead.
Yeah.
That's it. 1 goal.
Yeah, that's what I said. 1 goal. That's all you had to do. And we had the lights of Kane and Bale when he came on, Dele Alli. All these players just continuously disappointing us. There's nothing more I'd love to see than Harry Winks to put on a Tottenham shirt and be amazing. Right? A local lad, supported Tottenham since he was a kid, and we back him. We're like, yes, love him, Winksy, brilliant. And he continues to play woefully, week in, week out. It's basic of football. Like Lloris said, it's the basics. And they're just getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's so many reasons why that could be. But Winks wasn't bad under Poch. This is the thing. All these players, you forget, have been to a Champions League final. This is
but we all know that Champions League final was all papering over the cracks at the time.
Yeah, 100%.
The squad needed a rebuild from the squad needed a rebuild from 2017, if not before.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. We've completely fluked our way to that final, but you can't deny that these players have played and performed better in the past than what they are doing now. Whether it's Champions League, I'm not asking to be in the Champions League final again. Just the quarters of the Europa League. It's like they have the ability to do this. It's not that hard for them. They have the ability to beat some Croatian farmers, but it's an attitude thing and a confidence thing, I think. Because like Harry Winks lives in Hemel, and a few of my family friends know his mum, and his mum said to her like family friends that he's massively struggling with confidence, and he's openly said that he doesn't think Mourinho likes him.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. He said he doesn't really think Mourinho likes him. What I don't understand is Mourinho would say, if he doesn't like a player, he'd say he's that type of player.
There's
he's
no
that type of
chance
manager.
Mourinho doesn't like Harry Kane.
I remember.
No,
I have a friend who kind of knows Harry Winks. I remember he said the same.
Oh, you're talking about Harry Winks? I thought you were talking about Harry Kane.
No, Harry Winks.
No, Winks.
Oh, Winks, yeah.
I remember my friend was saying similar stuff about him under Poch.
Yeah.
Mourinho loves Kane. Jesus.
Of course he does.
You can see that. Christ, he's the only man keeping him in the job.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that didn't make sense. I thought you were talking about Harry Kane.
No way.
Anyway, Dicko, it's been great to
chat
to
no
you
worries.
as always, mate.
I'll let you boys get to bed. I'll see you soon.
Nice one, bro.
Dicko.
Speak to you in a bit.
Always a pleasure. Speak to you soon, mate.
Ya.
Nice one, Dicko. All right,
so that is the end of your Tottenham therapy for today.
Let me just get this Colin
got a few super chats actually still to read out. Jay Newman Blob saying, as a Tottenham fan, I found that quite funny. Josh King says, people forget that Jose...
I read that one out.
Oh, you read Josh King? Colin Lumsden, did you read? He's got a couple here.
This
actually.
one, I think they tell the big players they're gonna bring in top players. They sign a new contract, and then second-rate players being signed. Yeah.
OG Lowe says there's a short clip on Twitter of Ledley crying, but I can't see the last one by Joe Diaz.
Joey Diaz. I can't do what.
Oh, it says here, do you guys had a chance to see Hugo's interview?
Yeah, we haven't actually taken a look at it. We've just seen a few quotes. But it seems He seems to be talking about what we've been saying about this squad and about what Mourinho's been saying about people he doesn't trust and stuff. And looks like that is coming to the fore. Whether you blame Mourinho for his man management or you blame the players for not giving their all, there's definitely something wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And there needs to be looked at.
100%. Well, look, that is the end of your Tottenham therapy session today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Tomorrow, we have got a full day of content for you, player ratings in the morning. And then we have got the press conference. So it's press conference day tomorrow. It'll be embargoed from tonight. So we go live on YouTube as soon as the press conference is released. And you'll have the full press conference up on YouTube. Plus, we'll do the press conference reaction and pre-match fan show for Aston Villa this weekend. And then predicted lineup and match previews and all that kind of stuff as well. So join us for a full day of content tomorrow. Thank you for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, Tottenham till I die.
Come on.